What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Woo, yeah!
This week is Disney Plus a Palooza.
Yeah.
We're talking about that movie with the squirrel. We're talking about the Muppets. We're talking about the making of documentaries about everything Disney's ever produced. What other content is on Disney Plus? Anything interesting? I can't think of a thing.
Nat Geo.
Yeah.
Right? They got some Nat Geo stuff.
We're talking about the movie where the guy does climbing well.
Yeah. Something about penguins. What else?
Gravity
Simpsons
Falls.
Movie. Gravity Falls.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of The
That's
Simpsons, yeah.
All of those
including
things.
the 9 good seasons of it.
Yeah,
And all the Treehouse of Horror. We're going to go through every Treehouse of Horror. All 32 or 33 or however many there are at this point.
It's going to be great. We're going to spend, I guess, like, if we have to do the math, we're going to spend, like, a third of a second on every episode, and then eventually we will finish. So, guys, before we get to that, also just kidding, we're talking about all the things that, you know, it seems like we're going to talk about, which are Raya, The Last Dragon, and Wandavision. But before that, how have you guys been doing? How's your lives been?
It's, good as always. Definitely gave Disney all my... Well, that,
$30
that
American dollars.
Not that big a pill to swallow. I get what people are saying, like, oh, it makes more sense for families, but what if I'm just a guy, why do I gotta pay such a
What
steep
if I'm
price?
just a sad adult who pays money to see Disney movies?
Yeah.
And, I'm torn, because Mulan, it truly was not worth it, but I think Raya was. So I don't know how we get Disney to pick how to pick its spots, but I'm okay with it if it could actually be like quality content. So
yeah, it's tricky. On one hand, I think it's worth it, kind of, but also, you don't go to I guess you go to a movie and then you go, this wasn't worth the going to the movie price, but you don't. Like,
yeah, it happens.
Most of them aren't that, actually. So, I don't know. It's tough.
Well, no, Nando, what you do nowadays, or whenever a days, is you sign up for the cool subscription pass or whatever, and then movie cost means nothing.
Oh, my God. We're back
man,
to that.
guys, Movie Pass was such a glorious golden era. I don't think the culture will ever reach the glorious heights it did during that 1 year I had Movie Pass.
No, same. It was amazing. Like, it was frustrating, but yeah, it was amazing.
I never used it. I bought it, and then it stopped. Like I said, it would almost immediately. I think a day, 2 days later, maybe. So,
if you'd hopped on sooner like we did, then you would have had a full year of Gravy Train before it inevitably died.
No, whenever I hopped on, it would have died. I was going to kill it. So, you're lucky that I didn't hop on.
I just remember an amazing experience I had at the Hoboken movie theater, and there was like a bunch of us who went to go see some movie, and I was out there like with my stupid movie pass trying to get it with the guy, and like they like couldn't figure out how it was working, and they were so frustrated, and I had to call Movie Pass and finally got it to work. But the best hack was if you had like the pre-AMC stubs where you got like points and stuff, you could double dip because your Movie Pass would pay for the movie, so you'd get all the AMC points for the actual cost of the movie, yet you were only paying $10 a month. So it was like the best shit. Oh my God.
You were losing money if you weren't going to the movies every single day.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I know. It was the best stuff. But hey, now we don't have that anymore, and it's fine. Now we just have, we get to watch the Snyder Cut and King Kong in our homes, and that's life now.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that real quick. How about that Snyder Cut, huh? That's funny.
You mean how Warner is trying to sabotage our man Snyder by accidentally releasing the movie early to a small group of people and then rescinding it? An act which absolutely sabotages Snyder in a way we can all easily understand?
Yeah, when the movie isn't good, this is why. It says we've all decided. They gave us no excuse, but now we got one. It's their fault. It's this person, this probably woman, who we can all hate forever. That's my guess. That's just my guess. Not because she's a woman, but because she will draw the ire of the internet. It'll. That's just how it'll end up. And then,
all right, Burger King, calm down.
Yeah,
calm down, Burger King.
So yeah, whatever this person is, they will no doubt be. It'll be like revealed that they are Joss Whedon in disguise, or some associate of Jeff Johns being controlled by like a Ratatouille, where Jeff Johns is underneath their hat, and it was always the plan to destroy Justice League by showing it to people. They showed it to people, and that was all it took.
Yeah, finally, the Snyder fans and I agree on something.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I watched a couple of scenes just to see what people saw. Not great. And not great in terms of, like, bad content. Assuming that this was not a work print, which I don't believe it was. I think, as far as we know, this was the Snyder Cut. Assuming that it was the real thing, that is not good CGI. And it's not surprising at all. He had $70 million to make a 4-hour-long movie. Like, that's not that much money.
Bumped up to $100 million.
I did not hear that, but that's not shocking at all. I mean, like, how much do you think? What do you think is the most expensive part of it? Like Jared Leto? Like, where'd the money go?
Oh, jeez.
Advertising. There's a lot of advertising.
Well, typically, advertising is considered outside of the budget of the film.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know.
So where'd all the money go? I don't know. Like, maybe more editing went into this than we could ever possibly imagine.
It's possible.
Like, we just don't know the depths to which they were just like, how do we stitch this together into a cohesive movie?
Like, it's interesting because it's going to be 4 hours long, and they're showing like scenes and like clips on Twitter, and they look fine. Like, they look like what you'd expect from a movie. So I'm wondering if they really went all in on some scenes and didn't on other scenes. But that's really hard to say. One thing I will say is really funny. I'm sure we'll get to this when Snyder Cut comes up, and then we can move on. Is which will be in 2 weeks or whatever. Is a lot of the stuff that like was exciting to people about this, like certain characters that returning and like certain actors that hadn't been actually allowed to play that character being in it and stuff, whatever. It seems like some things may play out as like I don't even want to say it because I don't know how it's. I want to try to think of it. Like, there may be some things where you think, oh, okay, cool. The cool thing of the Snyder Cut, it's finally going to happen. And then it turns out the character wakes up from a dream and we don't see it happen. That might happen at some point during the Snyder Cut. And I think we should all be very angry at them for that. Like, as someone who doesn't really care about this, I have no opinion. But if I were someone who finally wanted to see all these cool things happen and I didn't get to, I'd be pissed. We'll see.
I have a question, and then we could just totally wrap up. But I'm really curious about this. So why aren't they releasing it in theaters? Why is this an HBO Max exclusive?
It's
like,
too
wouldn't
expensive.
they want like some kind of revenue to point to? You think it's just too expensive?
A movie theater can play that or can play a different movie twice. Like, why would any theater play the Snyder Cut? Nobody's gonna go see it. Like, it's not. We're not going to get the random theater goers.
Nando, the tens of fans who are Legion. That one lady who started this like whole thing. Her and her tens of fans will go.
All the associate
there
producers.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think they could probably get away with it. But, I mean, like, I'm sure there's movie theaters where it would work. But I imagine part of it is, like honestly, I don't think there are parts of this that will look good on a phone. So, like, I think it would be insulting to put it on a movie screen. If it's what it looks like, if it's like the thing that I saw, and to be fair, the clip that I saw was someone recording a TV, but still, you could tell when they were recording parts of the TV that looked like a movie, and then there were other parts that looked like a fan film, and the fan film parts like were shot with the same phone. That shot the whole thing, so you kind of knew this part looks good, which means this part does look not good. And
it's actually insane to think about. You can watch this on your phone.
It's the only way I would consider doing it, honestly. Like, and the thing about it is, like, on one hand, COVID maybe, and also the fact that they don't have as much money as you'd kind of hope. And like with the VFX being complicated and stuff, maybe, who knows? I don't know what the budget situation's like, because like a lot of it's filmed already, but it's filmed, everything is in front of a green screen. So how, I'm sure they do a ton of work. But if the if this is like a thing that isn't great looking, not surprising, but at the same time, like, so from my perspective, I'm sure I won't say it's bad because of the CGI. I'm sure that will be a part of maybe why it's bad, and maybe the other parts might be writing or acting. Who knows? But if I were a person who didn't really know what was going on and just saw, oh, Justice League, I thought they made that, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, it's got Ben Affleck in it, and they just turn this on and see parts that are unfinished, I would be furious and embarrassed
right?
as HBO Max to be like, ugh, people are going to think this is what all of our movies are now. People are going to think Godzilla v. Kong is going to be, like, rendered on, I don't know, man, like, bad rendering technology. I don't want to say, like, a PlayStation because it's, like, an old joke, but a PlayStation. I don't know. Listen, I hope it's great. It's not going to be, though.
No, you don't.
No, it's not. Like, I hope it's great.
Listen.
The same way, like, I hope that, I'm holding a $100 bill in my hand. I'm not, but it would be nice if I was.
I hope this movie is great the same way I hope that literally any movie I watch ever is great.
That too.
Especially a 4-hour one. Oh.
Are
you sure we can't do anything during it? Like, I know,
Absolutely
we have to actually
not.
watch, but like, oh,
No.
God.
You have to actually watch in one sitting.
I'm gonna
No, you cannot make me.
I'm gonna watch it on my phone and take it with me to the bathroom all the time. Like, it's just gonna be like 4 hours of. It's like half of a work day. Like, it's an insane ask for people that aren't the biggest fans of this.
Oh, it's gonna be
Quibi
work.
Oh, 10
just
minutes
treat
at
it
a
like
time.
Quibi.
Yeah,
treat it like you would a Quibi.
that would be
But
pretty good.
DJ,
Oh my God.
how is he supposed to eat his sandwich then?
That's
Oh,
true.
damn it.
And my sandwich, it could be that sandwich that they made that was, remember when, I don't remember if we talked about this on the show, but the Snyder Cut meal box that they're sending to people
Yes,
that you
I
can order
remember
for
this.
$150 and it's a hamburger and a Coca-Cola or something with like Batman written on the side of them. Anyway, yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know. Maybe it's a delicious meal. Who can say?
There's no way this would have happened, but can you imagine if like if Quibi, if it was still around, was like the exclusive place to get the Snyder Cut, might actually get some people to like sign up for Quibi.
I mean, they spent $2 billion on Quibi. They could definitely have afforded to buy the Snyder Cut from Warner Brothers and fronted the $70 or $100 or $400 million, however much it costs to make the movie look like a movie. Like, I mean, they could just.
If it was Quibi, it would be like 24 parts long.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
You'd get a bit of it every day for half of a year, or like every week for half of a year.
Well, like maybe it would have at least survived, right? We could have had a Quibi.
Yeah, I mean, most of Zack Snyder's movies are a bunch of scenes strung together by pure will, right? So like all of the scenes kind of work together on their own. Or like would work as well on their own as together, so you might as well just watch it in 10-minute chunks.
One of the remarkably awful things about Batman vs Superman is how utterly disjointed it felt. How every scene kind of just abruptly shifted to another scene that seemed to have absolutely nothing to do with it, and I felt like I was going insane.
Yeah, and it's like I think. I think it's going to be something. It's going to be really interesting. But yeah, this would work on a Quibi as well as it would work on a movie theater screen, I guess. It would be hard to digest, but then at the end you'd be like, wait a second, what did I just watch? And then you'd notice all of the weirdness about it. I'm really excited. It's a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to find out in a week.
Or maybe today if you turn on your Tom and Jerry.
You get real lucky.
Yeah, more sabotage. Oh, no. I mean, like, it's so funny because, like, I love it. I love a good conspiracy theory. And I love a really bad conspiracy theory. Like one that just does it. Like I like a good conspiracy theory. Well, it's like, why would the person lie? Well, for money. And then you're like, oh yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. But I like a good conspiracy theory where like no one benefits and everyone is the villain, which is what this is. Unless like Ben Affleck had a lot of pull and was like, I want to screw him over. but he probably wants to do it. I don't know. He's probably getting paid lots of money. They're
Tell
all getting
Zach,
paid lots of money.
I want him to know it was me.
Oh, man. That's who it is. It's Diana Rigg from Beyond the Grave, sabotaging the Snyder Cut with her classic line. Listen, speaking of movies that got released on streaming services exclusively that were supposed to be in theaters, how about this? You want a really fun one? Speaking of movies that halfway through, all the directors got fired for some reason. Raya and the Last Dragon. Yeah.
Oh man, no. I was gonna ding you because this movie did come out in theaters, but you saved it.
That's true. Yeah. We're gonna talk about Raya and the Last Dragon. Well, I guess we'll do WandaVision first, real quick. WandaVision. Spoilers for WandaVision. What do we think of WandaVision, guys?
Okay. So I liked WandaVision. I thought that the community made promises that the show couldn't keep. That's my big.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah,
WandaVision's obviously. Did you not hear what I said? The customers always right, Diggins. Didn't you watch Clerks or wherever that came from?
I don't think Clerks is where the customers always right came from, DJ.
I think it is. Yeah, no, that wasn't a phrase until 1993 or whatever, whenever Clerks came out.
It's famously also what that movie is about. It's about how customers are always right and respectful and kind.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I see. I'm 50-50 on that one. On one hand, I think fan expectations were a little high for some things, but on the other hand, I mean, it didn't hurt them at all in terms of expectation-wise, but I do think Paul Bettany is both hilarious and deserves all of the hate he's getting for his little joke. Not the hate, but
his joke is so good though.
It's a great joke, but every fan that was like, "Wait, that's what it is," I get why they're kind of confused and upset.
Should we explain the joke for those who might not be aware?
Sure, yeah. So Paul Bettany in an interview a while ago said I'm working in well, hold on, let me do it. Oh, hi, it's me, Paul Bettany. Oh, I'm working in the movie in the motion.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Michael Caine, you can't just come in here and pretend to be Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, bruv? You got me. I love to do the movies, and I want to be Vision's dad. I want to be Mr. Big good. Vision. Yeah, they auditioned me for the.
Wait, you want to be the new Tony Stark?
Oh no! Well, I didn't understand the Michael Caine doesn't understand all the ins and outs of the Marvel universe. I thought the white one was his daddy. Was that not what it was?
I thought the white one.
Common mistake.
Yes. So I wanted to be that one. I wanted to be Daddy Vision or White Vision, I guess is as they call it on the internet. All right, I gotta go. Anyway, so goodbye, Michael Caine.
That was so quick, man.
Yeah, he's
he usually
busy.
Stays longer, but I get it.
He usually stays for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was so short, but I get it. He's got places to be. He's probably filming Tenet 2.
He's got to check out the Snyder Cut as quickly as he can. He's been refreshing Tom and Jerry on his PlayStation all day, just waiting for Snyder Cut to show up.
That must be it.
But anyway. Yeah, so he was like, "Oh, I'm in a movie, I'm in WandaVision with an actor who I've always wanted to work with my whole life, and we have electric chemistry. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's going to be so excited." And everyone assumed that he was talking about anyone but himself. Little did we know it was himself. And to be fair to fans, not to be fair to fans, but in the logic of the show, until episode 7. It didn't make sense that could have even been a second guy.
Right.
That she stole the Vision's corpse. So the idea that Hayward had a secret Vision corpse lying around. I'm sure if that was the logic of it, that probably would have come up in fan theories earlier, but that just didn't seem like an option. But then, so Paul Bettany, it turned out, was talking about himself in what I think is probably the best non-sitcom-y scene of the whole show, where he just talks to himself in a library, vision, evil Vision versus good Vision. And people thought it would be Doctor Strange or,
Reed Richards.
Well, the Reed Richards one is a different one. And I think that is the one that, if I were a fan, I think it's fair that they're
it's ridiculous to assume that Paul Bettany meant Doctor Strange by that because he was talking about there being a good actor.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm kidding. He's fine. He's
great, and he's great as Doctor Strange. Those movies are good. Sam Raimi's going to do a good one, I promise.
As Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, Dormammu.
This is my American accent.
Pangborn, tell me the secret of your legs. You can go play basketball. Anyway, I think that out of all of the reveals that were set up, or like things that were revealed, because in the end, right, we learned that the character she was talking about was the Skrull person, or wasn't. Was it that Skrull kid that she talks to at the end of the, like, very, very end of the show?
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Exactly. So we don't know, so it doesn't matter at all. But that felt like that was set up for a reveal, where she was like, I know a guy that can help us. And then she didn't say who it was. I don't think there was a chance in hell it would be Reed Richards, but I do think that show, like the same way with Evan Peters and with Vision, I think you can say, I understand why they did that, and it was cool, and like they delivered on it. I think with that one, they just kind of made a promise out of nowhere that they couldn't deliver on in any way.
I mean, okay, so I think it's totally fine and even cool to like speculate and make theories about things that are going to happen in a weekly show. It's one of the pleasures of a show not dropping all at once, is that you get to see things unfold and you get to wonder what's going to happen, and you know, get together with other fans and think about it and be like, oh, I wonder if this will happen. Like, that's all totally cool and can be super fun. I think it gets a little silly when the things that you spun off on your own and came from your own brain, when they don't happen and you get upset at the show. Because, like, no one promised you that except yourself. It's fine to speculate, but it's like, it's a little silly to get upset that it didn't happen when no one ever said it was going to.
So I agree with that. I think with the aerospace engineer reveal, I think it's a little tricky because the show did kind of say like this is something, or like kind of allude to there being something, and then there was nothing. So I understand fans being like, I don't think Reed Richards was a reliable, like I don't think there was a chance Reed Richards would be in it. But I do think they at least had to have known that they were going to raise fan expectations about one of the characters that fans have been waiting to see in the MCU for longer than almost any other, really. Like, besides, you know, the X-Men, like the Fantastic Four. And, you know, they said they're going to make a Fantastic Four movie. And all the actors have said they've had conversations, maybe. So, like, they must have known what they were doing with that one. With Quicksilver, I think Quicksilver's genius because Evan Peters is the only actor who can play that character, where we and the characters in the show are both like, I don't know what his deal is. Because if it was a different guy, we'd all be like, well, that's not Quicksilver. And if it was Aaron Taylor Johnson, we'd be like, well, that's Quicksilver. But with Evan Peters, we're like, that's kind of Quicksilver? And that's what, you know, that's what the mood of that character was supposed to be like. So I think that one's brilliant. And I love that he was just some guy named Boner. That was fun.
Boner. And he was Ralph.
It was Ralph Boner, yeah. Apparently Boner... oh, sorry.
I'm just laughing at Ralph Boner.
Oh,
it's funny how he has a last name that means mistake. Right, guys?
Yeah, exactly. Well, apparently there's a character named Boner on All in the Family that pretty much is the character that this guy was, which is like the kind of loser friend who shows up and sleeps on the couch. So, but I mean, they must have known that boner means penis, but they also knew
what?
Like, I'm sure there is a
what?
Oh God! Okay, guys,
could you explain?
All right, so sometimes when a lobster really, really wants something from you,
that is the most impenetrable deep cut.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hope everybody goes and figures it out, though. This is why we need a wiki. But anyway, what was I going to say? So, Boner. So,
character in All in the Family.
Yeah, I'm sure there was someone that was like, what if we call him Boner? And then the Marvel people were like, what do you mean? And they standards of practice, they were like, you know, like after that guy from All in the Family. And then they were like, all right, you get away with this one.
They were just trying to be topical with the Dr. Seuss book.
Oh, is Boners in it?
You've never heard of the Pocketbook of Boners?
No.
I don't. Is this a real thing? I can't tell if you're.
Yeah, the famous
Adorable.
Dr. Seuss book, The Pocketbook of Boners. I just dropped a link.
Oh my
Yo, it's a real
God.
thing.
Yeah.
Is this one of the ones that was canceled, or is it? Can I still buy this?
No, it's actually been out of print for a while, just because it was before he was really Dr. Seuss. And it's just, I mean, obviously it has a style, but it was like made in like the early 30s. It's just not really considered one of his more noteworthy works anymore. But it contains 22 illustrations of boners.
Yeah. That's pretty good. No, that's pretty funny, though.
No, I think it's awful. It's terrible. How dare you?
What was the other thing I was going to say about WandaVision? Boner, great. The other thing, I think I understand people's response. Not like understand, but I kind of sympathize with people because I do think one of the moods that I heard generally about the finale wasn't as good as the rest of the show. So I could see people being generally disappointed by the finale. Not that I think it was like terrible or anything, but I do think it kind of felt, I don't know, a little all over the place. Just because it didn't live up to the quality of the first couple episodes, and then being like, why didn't I like this? I can't quite tell. Maybe it was because Doctor Strange didn't show up. Like, that must be it. Because, I don't know. I mean, we kind of agree. The last part wasn't as good as the beginning part.
Well, I think that part of it was the show had so much intrigue through 4 or 5 episodes, and then Evan Peters shows up, and that's just bananas. And then there's really
boners,
nothing
DJ.
big
The word is boners.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Is that a boner in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? Anyway, sorry.
I feel like there was nothing kind of huge after that because the Agatha, Harkness reveal is barely a reveal. Everyone knew. Everyone knew.
Okay, DJ.
Everybody
you
knows.
knew that Agnes was Agatha Harkness. You saw her day one and were like, guess this is Agatha Harkness.
Oh, no. By week 6 or whatever. But by the time her reveal came, it was yeah, we know. It's certainly not a surprise.
Well, okay. But even forgetting about, just reveals and stuff, I think, because you could still, it doesn't need to necessarily be a reveal where they just wrap it all up well. And there was the Scarlet Witch reveal and, the costume and stuff, and White Vision living. And there should have been enough in there for people to be like, yeah, it got revealed. I just think, the ending wasn't very satisfying.
I think episode 8 was one of the best episodes of the series.
Yeah, I liked I liked pretty much every episode besides 9. I understand people not loving 4. I didn't love 4 either. But 1, 2, 3, great. 5, 6, 7, 8, really good. And then 9, eh.
Yeah, I mean,
I think for me, one of the things about 9 that was fairly disappointing. Not that overall I still very much enjoyed the series, and perhaps there will be some format in which you could read extended thoughts about this whenever I stop being a fudge up.
Well, those lobsters aren't going to help themselves.
Yeah,
so we understand you're busy.
You're trying to write the book, Diggins' pocketbook of WandaVision boners. 22 pages of full boners from WandaVision. Mm-hmm. It's all just pictures of Ralph.
Mm-hmm. But they I don't know why the pictures of Ralph part got me. Not the rest of it.
Oh, it's just that actor's headshots of him, and then him smiling in a Viking hat, and then it's what it's like. It's like Tobias's headshots, where it's just him in different outfits, or it's like the guy from whatchamacallit, from fucking Paddington 2, and all his headshots are just him in a different little silly disguise.
But anyway, I think one thing tying into what DJ said that was kind of disappointing about this episode specifically, and also kind of later era WandaVision generally, is as soon as the Agatha Harkness reveal happened, everything that made the Agnes character kind of fun and unique sort of went away, and she just became generic Marvel villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at the end they were like, but also she's a cool person that maybe will show up later in a nice way.
Maybe.
They un-Marvel villained her for a second in a way that's very, I thought was very strange. And then I read an interview today with the person who wrote the show, Jack, I want to say Sheffer maybe or something like that. I should know this, but that person was like, originally Agatha was more of a helpful caretaker person and mentor to Wanda, and then once we were writing it and like working on it, we realized it'd be more fun if she was a villain. But we still want to keep the door open, so maybe she can be a mentor later. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what that character feels like in episodes 8 and 9, where it's just like, I'm a villain, I'm a villain, I'm a villain. Actually, call me if you need me. I'll just be waiting here for you. Like, yeah, it's fine. It was not as good as the other ones, though. What's your favorite episode of WandaVision? Or let's say favorite scene? What do you guys like? What really, you know, what do you love?
Favorite scene? That's a tough question.
I like the bit where the director tried to shoot the kids for no reason. That was fun, right?
God.
Well, and that's the other thing. I think, like, I you know, a lot of people thought that character was like Mephisto or something. I made a crazy theory that I said it was Red Skull, and I very much in that video was like, he probably isn't. There's no way, but wouldn't it be cool? But I think that character could definitely be a character people see and go like, wow, that guy could have been interesting if it was Mephisto, because it just wouldn't be that guy that we got right now who stunk. Like, so yeah, I think it's like just filling in holes where things are generally lacking. Where the fans are upset that that's not Mephisto, but they're not upset that they were wrong. They're upset that the character instead was nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, it's hard because, you know, how much more complex writing and loose threads do you leave for a show that only has one season? And, like, it's hard. It's, like, weird because, like, Marvel just has, like, the movies. I know they have other shows, but a lot of that stuff's already, like, been written and done. So, you know, how do you pick up on these threads when you don't necessarily have, like, more seasons to go by? It's not like Mandalorian, where you could just, like, leave a season with a lot of stuff hanging because you know you'll pick them up again.
Well, DJ, when you have an interconnected universe that is theoretically all one long-running plot thread forever, then you can put everything off forever. And it could just keep saying, yeah, we'll do it later, and then just never do it.
I guess so. But that would somehow feel worse.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, it sure would be bad if the Marvel Universe was like that, DJ.
It's definitely the case that, like, Monica is going to show up in her own things, and the kids are going to be back in the Doctor Strange movie or something. Like, there's no character in this movie or in this show that is not going to have an arc going forward, besides, like, the random side characters that didn't matter. But, like, any main character... except for Hayward, maybe. He probably won't. But I think, like, yeah, I think you could even have been, like, just write a more interesting, complex character of Hayward and have him just be a guy trying to work against Wanda, who is, like, the show couldn't decide, but is very, like, reasonably the villain of the whole thing, and just make that character cool, and then you're like, well, it wasn't Mephisto, but at least it was somebody cool. Like, at least he, you know, because nobody gave a shit when Alexander Pierce from Winter Soldier wasn't the Red Skull, and everybody thought that guy was going to be the Red Skull, because we liked him, and he was good, and, like, that's, you know, the Hayward was not that, so everybody just was trying to figure out ways that he would have been better. But anyway, what's your favorite scene, DJ, besides the one where the kids get shot, and then everything goes through Monica like jelly, and then the kid catches one of the bullets, so it's like, well, did Monica need to do anything at all? And also the kids don't exist, so it didn't need to matter at all either.
So I'll say definitely the scene I enjoyed the most, that, like, throughout the whole show I was just like, this is great and I love this, is the magic act.
Yo, me too. That was gonna be yeah.
Brilliant.
That was gonna be my answer.
It's the best scene in the series.
Everyone. It's the best one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they should have stopped it after episode 2. Just called it. Been like, you guys, you figure out who you think everyone is. Have a discussion amongst yourselves. These are the 2 episodes of WandaVision. Yeah, we're good. Does she have kids or not? Who knows? Well, it's up to you. Yeah, that was great.
It's hard because, like, that stylistic stuff was when the show was, like, you know, you could argue at its best, but the show couldn't be that. So it had to, you know, forget about reveals. It had to, like, live up to this weird standard it could never possibly live up to.
Why couldn't it, DJ? What was preventing it from being like that?
Oh, yeah, I guess you got me, Diggins. You're right. It should have just been a weird sitcom series through the decades with no overall story and just...
Whoa, hold on. No one is saying it shouldn't have an overall story. No one said those words.
Diggins, you said them. Did you not hear them come out of your mouth in, like, radio waves that only me and DJ can hear, like puppies?
They weren't recorded, and therefore no one can prove it in a court of law.
That's exactly right. Go on.
I'm just saying it could have kept being the weird sitcom show that has increasingly bizarre horror aspects, showing that something is wrong, cracking the illusion, showing that peeling back the layers and showing what's really going on as it went along. It could have been that. Nothing stops it from being that.
Yeah, but then how do I get Darcy, Diggins? Come on. I need my quips and stuff.
Well, and I think the thing about that part was great for that reason. Like you both were kind of getting at. I also think the problem with later episodes, besides having to check back in on our outside of the Hex characters, was like and I think it was because of that, but I never felt like they were able to establish a real rhythm of whatever show they were doing, because they did a really good job of like parodying and like recreating like Modern Family. That was really good, but it just like
true.
We didn't get more than like 7 or 8 minutes of it. So it didn't feel like the episode couldn't culminate with Modern Family. It had to culminate with plot. Whereas that episode 2, culminated with like the Bewitched. And like I'd say the same for I think the second best scene might be episode 5, which was the 80s bit where they argued and then Quicksilver showed up. Like, that was also pretty good. I enjoyed the acting. I liked how they kind of worked all the sitcominess into it. And, whatever, the All in the Family, like, vibe. But yeah, I feel like I wish we had more Modern Family and more Malcolm in the Middle. Because whenever they did that, it was really good. But they just didn't, they were never able to do it enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What'd you think of, I don't know. What'd you think of the, like, Scarlet Witchiness of it? Just like that she is now the Scarlet Witch, and the Scarlet Witch is like the Phoenix Force pretty much for magic.
I would like the MCU, if they can, to explore the nuance of a complicated hero who like did some really fucked up stuff, but they're like a hero. Like, what are the implications of that?
We'll never know.
That might be nice too. Well, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely not what she is now, though. I feel like it's weird. The bit where she leaves and she's like, I am sorry about all the things that I did to all of these people. And it's like, well, Vision told you were doing that and you didn't change. Or like, so what changed? And it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to be a bad guy in future movies. So I'm so sorry, everyone. You're all cool with this, right? No? Well, we'll never check on this again.
They'll never know what you gave up. It's like, you tortured us?
Yeah.
So
they'll never know you gave up your imaginary children that your husband kept telling you weren't real. Also, he wasn't real. And you knew that, and it didn't matter. Yeah. She's a weirdo. I don't like her. I don't want to hang out with her. She seems weird. What was your favorite? What was I going to say? Are there any like small things that you liked, that you were like surprised by how well they worked out with the show?
Small things like that, I surprised worked out. Like, do you have an example of one that?
So I liked. Okay. I think White Vision looked really good, and I think he looked good in a way that was not just Vision but white. I feel like they did a lot of small things to make that like version of Vision look distinct, and like more kind of sinister in a way that was very cool and effective. And I liked how the whole show was the Wizard of Oz the whole time. That was cool too. I mean, they did the thing with the boots. And also,
I was going to say,
Theseus. Yeah,
you did poison my brain enough that when I saw the boots, I was like, oh, Nando's Wizards of Oz thing. Huh.
Yeah, and also the ship of Theseus as a metaphor. If you look up its Wikipedia page, the first thing is apparently from the Book of Wizard of Oz. There's a whole bit with the Tin Man where he I guess makes another Tin Man. It's very close to what happened in the show, where like another Tin Man is made of him, and he's like, which of us is the real Tin Man?
Right, when Dorothy creates an entire fake reality because the Tin Man had died, where there's a new Tin Man. But then the Wicked Witch of the West brings the original Tin Man's body back as an evil Tin Man, and then the two Tin Men talk about the ship of Theseus, that part?
That sounds like that's pretty much it. And then the Munchkins are the kids. And they put little outfits on. I did like that they wore their little outfits. And I think Evan Peters was really fun for the time that he was in it.
Yeah.
But he was. Yeah. The whole Quicksilver thing, I really liked that whole little subplot. It was clever in its meta bit of like casting the Fox Quicksilver and making that being something interesting and confusing for people, but also totally working on its own terms inside the story itself without relying on that to be like a thing. I think that is cool how they did that, and I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it was a good series. I think Marvel did a good job. People should temper their expectations for Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I don't think it'll be...
Oh, man.
It's going to be just like so different. And different as in it's the same as everything else, right? That's what I mean by different.
I think after this, I can enjoy some same as everything else. Like
just some vroom vroom, bang bang, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, DJ doesn't, I get it. You don't appreciate an African American lead in a show, like, because you don't appreciate what it does for, diversity and stuff. But I just do,
Wow.
So I look forward to that.
So
Trying
do you
to get me
think
canceled, are we?
Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier after they introduce Falcon's like motivation and like his past and everything? How long will it be before Falcon stops talking about it, except as an analogy for how Bucky is right in everything he does?
Oh, you think that's how it's going to be? I don't know. I think
I'm just maybe generalizing the treatment of people of color in Marvel properties.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
a little.
I feel like this will be the Falcon's show in a way that it's not like I just see him as the main character of it, just because it has to end with him deciding to be Captain America, and like I feel like that's the arc of the show. Bucky feels very much like a sidekick, with Sam.
That would be cool. I would like it if that's how it is.
We'll see about Zemo. I'm excited. That fucking mask, man. It looks perfect. It's as good as it's ever been.
We got to acknowledge, DJ, that this show won Nando over the second they put that sock on Zemo's head.
It's not just the sock. The sock is great, but it's the coat and the gloves. They really they could have just put him in a sock and like a tactical turtleneck and left it at that. But this character wakes up every day and decides to be a supervillain. Like he goes into his wardrobe and goes t-shirt or big giant coat, and yep, I'm wearing the big giant coat and the gloves and all that stuff. So I really do appreciate that about this Zemo. I've heard theories, people have, not like theories, but people have been like, it'd be cool if he wears the purple mask in this, because he like is emulating Thanos, because he knows it'll piss the Falcon off. And I think that's a fun idea. They could do stuff like that. I don't know. It's going to be great. Plus, it could be interesting about America, Could say interesting things about America and all of its interesting things. Because you got your U.S. agent and stuff, and he can be bad.
They'll have U.S. agent come in, and he'll be like, America has never done anything wrong. And at the end of the show, everyone will be like, U.S. agent was right the whole time. America has never done anything wrong.
No. Here's what's going to happen. He will say that, and then he'll be like, I'm the U.S. agent. I'm a good guy. And everybody will be like, he's not. And then he'll just be like, I'm going crazy instead. My viewpoints are still valid, but I went crazy because of brain formula stuff. So you guys can bunch me a lot, and then we'll kind of be done with it. I think that's what we'll get. We'll get like an Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Ant-Man 1 kind of scenario. But hey, maybe it'll be cool. Yeah. Speaking of Disney Plus, guys.
Yeah, giving them more money.
Yeah.
$30 American dollars specifically.
Yeah.
It's time for some Raya, the Last Dragon.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Raya and the Last
Raya
Dragon.
is not the Last Dragon.
They are two separate characters.
Sisu.
Seesaw.
I could never get that right.
No, I had a lot of trouble with that too. Although they did spend a lot of time in that movie just saying that character's name.
I know.
I watched it a couple days ago, so I kind of forgot about it too.
They didn't want you to be like Aquafina. They really wanted to be like, this is a character whose voice you've never heard before.
Yeah. And it was fine. In the grand tradition of comedians pretending to be stuff and not really pretending to be that thing, just doing their stand-up routine, it was fine.
Well, hold on, Nando. Hold on. I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
I actually have an interesting thought
I think
on.
the reason that Disney keeps chasing that high is because of the incredible, massive success of the first time they did it.
Like, trying to think what this is in reference to, and I'm like, when was the first time this was done?
I mean,
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah,
are you serious?
That's right. I mean, I'm thinking about it more in terms of the second time it was done.
I feel like a big dummy.
Listen, it's never been as good as the first time, but the reason why they do it is because the first time it was like perfect and incredible.
Oh, sure, but it was also him just doing his shtick, him improvising impressions of Jack Nicholson.
That's what you just said, though. Is it's just them being themselves, doing their stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying.
I'm saying you say the grand tradition of that is that it's fine, but the first time it was like phenomenal.
Oh sure, I guess a lot of it depends on the comedian themselves and your mileage on them. And I think Awkwafina was doing about as well as he did, except I just don't think she's all that funny. So
I think the problem is that role was written for him, and no other role since then has actually been written for the person they cast.
See, I kind of think Mushu works. I think as a character,
Mushu,
he fits.
No, DJ, that's not who we've been talking about. Nando is bringing up another example.
Yeah, the one that's more analogous to this one, obviously, because they're both dragons.
Both in a movie centered in the continent of Asia, although very different cultures in that continent.
That's right, and both African-American male actors, so that comes into play as well.
There was a time before Mushu?
There was not.
I really want to make DJ guess this now, because it's kind of incredible to me that he can't think of it.
I think it's a bit, but I'm trying to think of a different thing that could be more real than it, like another actual answer. Because
wait! I think I got it, and it's not a bit. I think I got it. I think I have the right answer.
All right.
Okay, it's the Lion King.
So
no,
but
what
not completely no though, because I would say Timon and Pumbaa, or like Timon is the bit, right? Is Nathan Lane doing the bit. It's just not as pronounced and like he's not an Eddie Murphy level kind of guy.
I thought I nailed it with Lion King.
Well, I also, you know what, Lion King had Whoopi Goldberg and all them too, doing like kind of, just Whoopi Goldberg jokes.
Oh, wait, no, I got it, and I feel like a dumbass.
Yeah, DJ, what is it?
Yeah, I feel. I'm such an idiot. Oh God. Beauty and the Beast. How could I? Now it's a bit. Now it's a bit. I don't want to say it out loud because I feel like such an idiot.
No, DJ, you've gotta tell the people how stupid you are.
Obviously 101 Dalmatians with,
with Glenn Close.
That guy
love that movie.
All right, this has gone on too much. Yeah, Aladdin. It's Aladdin. It's Aladdin. I feel so stupid.
Tom Cruise playing Aladdin.
Yeah, duh.
Love it.
And it's gold. So your point is it's never been better than that, the comedian just doing the thing?
Has it ever been better than that, DJ?
I don't know. I do think like Nathan Lane and Eddie Murphy both work. It's hard. Robin Williams is like the gold standard. I don't think those two didn't work.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's always been bad. I'm saying Nando's point was that it was always fine, and I was saying the first time they ever did it, it was way more than fine. And I don't know that it's ever been better than that, but it can work.
I don't think it'll ever be better than that.
No, I think
that seems impossible.
But I think there are tiers of how well it works, and Robin Williams is S tier, and those other couple we mentioned are A tier, and Awkwafina's like less of a tier for me because her shtick just kind of wears thin. I don't know why though. I think it's just a generational thing.
Personally, I don't think that the problem is Awkwafina's shtick. I think it's the character is kind of underwritten.
That could be it.
Oh, like the Sisu? Like, is it underwritten?
Yeah, I think Sisu's a little underwritten.
Yeah, super. Well, okay.
Also, DJ. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be really funny, you could have said. I guess I looked up a list now. You could have said George Costanza and Hunchback of Notre Dame. That would have been a solid pull. I mean, any of the Hercules, bit players also kind of fit that.
Oh,
bill.
Actually, no, because that does. Yeah, a lot of these do work.
Oh, yeah. Like, most of them you don't notice because I think, like, Eddie Murphy and Robin Williams were bigger than Disney at the time, whereas a lot of these other guys were not.
The best misdirect, DJ, would have been saying Aladdin and then pretending you thought we meant Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, I thought, or pretending we meant Will Smith.
Good one.
and being like, yeah, Will Smith from that classic Aladdin movie.
Oh, yeah.
True, that also would have worked.
Yeah. All good bits, DJ, all good bits. You came up with...
I'm not good with bits on the fly, you know. I just as has been well established on this show.
Unless they're Michael Caine based.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He comes on the show
unless you call in your friend Michael Caine as a ringer. That's what I'm saying.
Right, and be like, I got a bit for you, buddy. And he says something in a voice that I'm not even going to try to, because it would be awful. Another one, Cars. Cars has it. It's not as much of a Disney thing because it's Pixar, but it's still very much, hey, comedian, do your bit. Do your routine. But anyway, Raya and the Last Dragon, guys. This movie came out this year.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Back to this year
month
movies.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right on it. We're on. I mean, depending on when this releases, it might be just a week after it was released. So, good on us. I don't know.
We did a great job. This was
Yes,
it was
we always do.
and we nailed it. 5 stars. Review us. You got all the greats are here in this movie. Kelly Marie Tran, Aquafina, Gemma Chan, and a bunch of others. We'll get to the others later. But also, this was directed by like a bunch of people and written by more people. But that's not important, guys, because what's important is the IMDb summary. And we'll start with, Diggins, you won last week, I think, so you get to choose first or second.
He did.
I did win last. I crushed it last week.
Yeah,
you did, actually.
Actually, I think I admitted that you did crush it. Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Well, I made DJ go first last week, so I'll go first this week.
Okay.
So,
No hints. Well, it's okay, hint. It's on the shorter side.
Okay. After a disastrous mistake has led the world to fall to ruin, Raya must seek out the last dragon in order to make things right once more.
Okay. DJ?
In a world on the brink of destruction, Raya must summon the last dragon Sisu to unite 5 tribes and correct a mistake from her past.
Oh, this is tough. I'm going to give it to DJ.
Yes.
Because you started with the... Do you remember what your first couple words were?
I think I said in a world.
Yeah, you had in a world. So it reads as this.
World.
That might as well be this movie.
Oh, I mean, so in a realm known as Kumandra, a reimagined Earth inhabited by an ancient civilization, I guess, a warrior named Raya is determined to find the last dragon. No reason why. She just kind of gets wild hair up her ass and says, let's go find the last dragon. It's good to know, IMDb summary.
Can I nitpick that IMDb summary?
Yeah, go for it.
It is not Kumandra until the very end or the very beginning.
Yeah.
Depending on what perspective.
Maybe it's like the whole land is Kumandra, and only once they are united is the nation also Kumandra. Like
Australia and Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I mean, like, we've done a lot of these movies. We've done a lot of movies. And none of them have explained that the world that the movie takes place in is much like our own, but different. Like, a reimagined Earth inhabited by an ancient civilization does not need to be there. But I guess they thought it was necessary.
It is nuts that there is no mention on why she needs the last dragon.
She heard it was cool, so you want to go get it.
Yeah.
And that's what she does.
I mean, it's called The Last Dragon, DJ. Dragons are sick as hell. Everyone
That's
knows
true.
that.
That's true. Dragons are fucking dope, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, bad on me, sorry.
So, way to go, DJ. No bad on you. You won. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a great one.
Savor your victory while you can.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I will. I get one of these a month, I think, so...
Oh.
And, okay,
Just you guys wait until we do the fucking Snyder cut.
I was going to say...
Yeah, that's going to be a disaster.
The movies we are doing, like the next 3 or 4, I'm gonna bomb them. I promise.
The Snyder Cut. I mean, it must have its own IMDb page, right? Yeah, it does. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm gonna read it now, and we're not gonna do it, but I just want to see it. Oh my god, it's gonna be awful. Oh my god.
Can you compare it to the original Justice Leagues and see if their synopses are different?
I'm sure they are. There's no way this is the same as the other one. Not a chance in hell. But let's see. I'll pull them up just to be sure.
While Nando's looking that up.
Yeah, not even close. So different.
Wow,
Guys, we're talking about the Snyder Cut so much in this episode so that when we do our Snyder Cut episode, we'll already have done this work so it won't be 6 hours long.
Yeah, and we're already getting all of our Snyder Cut bias out of our system, so when we see it, we'll be able to go, oh my god, it was great. It was the perfect thing. We knew it.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think we have much to say about Raya. I'm just going to throw that out there. Maybe I'm super wrong, but because we didn't discuss it at all before. Some a little behind the curtain. Sometimes we do little talks before the podcast, just
we'll tease each other with what we thought about it.
Yeah.
Nothing. We didn't mention the movie once.
Well, I remember Friday night, maybe Saturday night, me and DJ played Apex or something, and I was like, I'm gonna watch that movie. Or do you see the movie? And he was like, yeah. I was like, it was all right. And you're like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then that's it. That was all we said. Couldn't have more thoughts. But okay, so Raya and the Last Dragon, you guys. It was directed by, get ready for this, Don Hall, Carlos Lopez Estrada, Paul Briggs, and John Ripa. So the first two have directed by credits, and then the second two have co-director credits. It was written by Keenan and Adele Lim. They have screenplay by credits. And then these people all have story by credits. Paul Briggs, Don Hall, Adele Lim, Carlos Lopez Estrada, Keel Murray, Keenan, John Ripa, and Dean Williams. There are 8 writers on this movie. That is unbelievable. It's not when you see the movie, but it is unbelievable for a movie to have 4 directors, 8 writers, and 2 main characters, because
it's true.
They fired the main character actor out of nowhere with no explanation, and that's when they fired a bunch of these people too. They got rid of both of the co-directors, and they hired a new team of directors and a new team of writers to rewrite and redirect the movie. It's fascinating.
Who is the
more
original
interesting
voice
to me.
actress?
I don't think she's super famous, but I don't know who it is.
I'll look it up.
I know. I googled this the other day. Yeah. So it was this movie. It stars a bunch of people. We did some of them. So we got Kelly Marie Tran, Awkwafina. It's also got Gemma Chan. Isaac Wang plays a character named Boone. Is it Boone? Which was this kid with the boat? I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Boone. Yeah. And then you got Daniel Day Kim, Lost Zone, as a nice dad Benja. Benedict Wong Zone plays Tong.
Oh yeah.
Who else in here is interesting? Sandra Oh plays Virana, who I'm assuming is what's her name's mom.
The evil mom. Yeah, evil girl's mom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you got a bunch of other ones that are I don't know who any of these characters are. Alan Tudyk is in here as Tuk Tuk, the roly-poly horse.
Asian?
Yeah,
Alan Tudyk. They get around these with Moana and now this. They get around having Alan Tudyk show up in movies where they're trying to only cast people of the culture they're making a movie based around by having him be weird animals.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I love me some Alan Tudyk.
It's fine. Yeah. I'm not suggesting it's a problem. It's just a thing they've done twice now, and I think that's funny.
Yeah, and then otherwise, there's probably other people in here that, I don't know, people might recognize.
Also,
there's
the original voice actress for Raya was Cassie Steele.
So, does it...
Should we know her from something?
I'm trying to find...
Not really.
Because while we've been doing this, I've been trying to find out what the reason was, and I don't think we ever got one, why any of these changes happened.
Oh, wait, hold on. She's the voice of Tammy in Rick and Morty.
Oh, dude, really?
Oh.
Yeah, Bird Person's wife.
Yeah, I know Tammy.
The hero of the show.
Yeah.
She kills Bird Person, the villain of the show. So it's interesting. Now, to be fair to them, to Disney does this all the time. They have way too many writers and directors on all of their movies, and they fire them and add more, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But Wreck-It Ralph had a bunch of directors, Frozen had a bunch of directors, and they're both pretty good. It's
something that is much more liable to happen on a big animated movie like this, because animated movies take years and years to actually finish making, which makes it, gives you a lot more time for something like that to happen.
Mm-hmm. And I think with the different actors or different directors and different writers, I'm not as surprised, because I do think you could probably reasonably say 40 people deserved a writing credit for Avengers Endgame because of different, like contributions people made and the millions of executives who said that guy has to say that thing now. But so like having a lot of those guys and firing some, I'm not shocked. The lead actress I'm interested in, here's my guess. I don't know if you guys have a guess. My guess is, because this happened 7 months ago, right? So where were we headspace-wise? And it didn't necessarily happen 7 months ago, but we found out about it 7 months ago, so it might have happened before that. But like not too long before that, they announced that the first actress is going to be playing Cassie. We say Cassie Steele, is that her name?
Yep.
That she was going to be playing the lead one, and then it got changed to Kelly Marie Tran. Here's what I think happened. Kelly Marie Tran came into the Disney office with a baseball bat one day and just said, whoever is the person who ruined the Star Wars movies, like Ari Gold in Entourage, she just started whacking, like destroying everyone's computers and stuff. And someone was like, please, Kelly Marie Tran, we'll let you be in one of our movies. And they said, a Star Wars one. And they said, well, no. And they were like, a Marvel one? And they said, well, no, we've already cast them for the next 50 years. So what's left? And then we got this. That's my guess.
I mean, sure, she's well within her right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I'm shocked.
Out of everyone in those movies, she deserved the most reparations.
Yeah.
This probably doesn't even come close unless Raya is its new cinematic universe.
Yeah, I mean,
or get Raya 5.
They could easily. I mean, they can't really now. I'm sure they could do it. It'll just be like their dragon movies. Someone from the neighboring country will come to upset the balance.
Of this movie, I guarantee it. Will there be 5?
I don't think
Probably.
so. If we're not getting a Moana 2, I don't think we're getting a this 2.
Yeah,
although
Disney
I guess we're getting a Moana show.
These days,
fuck it. Yeah.
Disney these days, while they do relentlessly commercialize everything they make, is fairly restrained as far as sequels are concerned.
Which is nuts. There's 3 Cars movies.
Well,
sequel everything.
I mean, like I said, we are getting a Moana Disney Plus show, and they announced pretty much everything that's ever been made is getting a Disney Plus show. Like the Tiana show is existing now, so like they'll probably be a Disney Plus something of this.
I mean, that's what they should be doing, right? Because they want more content on the platform, and they're gonna prove that this model works. While Paramount Plus and Discovery Plus like die in a fire, because there's no way those are gonna last more than 2 years.
I mean, yeah.
You don't think
Avatar Studios.
You don't think that Paramount Plus with their all-star lineup like SpongeBob and
interviews of the princesses. That's what they've got. They've got a whole. There's another royal family Discord every couple of years.
No, hold on, I can do this.
Avatar Studios, Diggins.
Star Trek. That's right.
Listen, I don't know if we can take back our predictions, but if I could replace Fortnite with Paramount Plus, if we all get a mulligan, just please let me do that, because I was so wrong with Fortnite, and I'm so right about Paramount Plus. There's no way this is a thing in 2022. I feel so strong about it.
TJ, that's the craziest thing you're telling me. Paramount Plus, the streaming service with the stand, as its like third biggest thing in all the commercials. You're telling me Paramount Plus isn't going to be around after the streaming wars, where 45 other streaming services that probably have like a leg up on it, they're not all going to fall to the juggernaut that is Paramount Plus of entertainment? I don't want to hear it. You're a liar, DJ.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Paramount Plus will buy Fortnite. That's what's going to happen. And they'll cancel it just to prove you wrong. I'm going to call Jordan Peele and say, Jordan Peele, I've got an idea for a new episode of that bad Twilight Zone reboot. DJ makes a mistake. I'm sure.
That show got canceled.
Listen, I don't know if you've seen what Paramount Plus is working with. It'll be back. They'll find a way. They're biding their time.
If the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone wasn't canceled, I don't know why it wasn't on the poster of all the Paramount Plus things or in the weird commercial where they hiked to Mount Everest.
Maybe they're going to do a secret one. Maybe like it's going to be dropped, released. Here's my pitch for the next. Okay, here we go. This is what we do. Here's what we do. Paramount Plus. Listen to me. Remember how you guys tried to kind of modernize some of the episodes by making the monster from the original Plane One a podcast? What if, now hear me out, it's a TikTok dance. I don't know how. I don't know if the characters will learn the TikTok dance on the plane, but that is what makes the plane go down. And Adam Scott can still be in it because he was good in the one that they made.
It does appear that show was canceled after its second season, but it was only just canceled last month. DJ's on the cutting edge.
DJ.
Damn right.
You sure you don't want to change your prediction to they'll cancel the Twilight Zone show? It's not too late.
Oh, that would have been
apparently.
insane, right?
Yeah. I would have been like,
really
DJ,
would
you can't do things that already happened. And then you'd be like, but Nando, they're holding their breath. They don't know if we're all going to come around on the Twilight Zone show. I watched so much of that show, too. I think I watched the whole first season. It stinks.
I didn't watch any of it because I didn't have CBS All Access and was absolutely not going to pay for it.
Yeah, no, that was smart. I mean, I think I got out before I paid for it as well, but we're good. Anyway, Paramount
what
Plus.
were we talking about?
We're talking about Raya and the Last Dragon. Raya and the Last Dragon. It stars all
no
those
one knows
people.
how we feel about this movie yet. We're like an hour
we're gonna
plus
we're
into
gonna
the
start
podcast.
with that.
No.
That's coming,
Okay.
DJ. You know what? In fact, DJ, what'd you think of Raya and the Last Dragon?
I liked it.
All right, Diggins, what you think of Raya and the Last Dragon? And give me. Here's what I want. I want a sentence on Raya and the Last Dragon, then about 45 minutes of hot new Snyder Cut material, if you can. If you got it in
Oh,
you.
I could. Oh, only 45 minutes? Well, I'll do my best to cut it down.
I have a Snyder Cut take after Diggins
that's
that I
true.
wanted to
DJ
get out
gets
this whole
Snyder
episode.
Cut, too.
Okay, listen.
yeah.
What if okay, so you know how in I know it's not Snyder Cut, but Batman v Superman will probably have flashbacks. So you know how they do the Martha thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I
so
saw the
what
movie,
if
like that they're all Martha mommy thing.
Well,
Yeah.
instead of the Martha, what if Batman tries to convince Superman using the ship of Theseus?
Oh my God.
Whatever. What is it? What do you call it?
Like a metaphysical thought experiment.
not a parable. I cannot think of the word.
It's a thought
question.
experiment.
Thought experiment.
Thought experiment, thank you.
Yeah.
Device.
Yeah. So what if Batman does that? He uses the ship of Theseus philosophical device instead of the whole Martha thing.
What if?
What do you guys think of that?
What if Steppenwolf, the new spiky one, gets in a fight with the old shiny smooth Steppenwolf, and then they have their ship of Theseus conversation, where they both grumble at each other about the. Yeah. Oh, you not the real Steppenwolf.
Are we actually getting Darkseid in this movie?
Yeah, they're putting out trailers
Yeah.
with Darkseid. He looks
Didn't
weird.
you see that box art of a mid-2000s era graphics card?
Oh, that was adorable. Yeah. You thought that poster where they used the toy of Palpatine was bad. You wait till you see this. But yeah, no, you can see like the clips of him. He's like a little too thin. There's something about him that looks strange. I don't know what it is, but I think it's that he's just like he needs to be wider. But I don't know.
I'm just not on the cutting edge with like the Snyder Cut. I really want to be surprised when I see Granny Goodness
she's in
beat
there.
up Superman or something.
Oh my god, I honestly did not know that.
And as they're in a wig, if only. No, it's probably like someone that doesn't speak. And then
You mean
that's
like several characters in this movie who they clearly didn't want to cast VAs for?
Yeah, exactly. Just mostly posing for Granny Goodness and all of Raya's like, I don't know. I mean, some of them spoke, but a lot of them were just random voices, and also the villain was a voice. It's fine. DJ, do you have any other thoughts on Raya and the Last Dragon before you go to Diggins?
Yeah, no, go to Diggins.
All right.
I've taken too much of his time. I'm
Diggins,
so sorry.
what did you think of Raya and the Last Dragon?
I think it's basically a pretty good movie. I think it's often charming. It's visually very beautiful. I think it's cool how much the two, the main female hero and the main female villain obviously wanted to kiss. I think there's parts of it that are a little underwritten, especially the character of Sisu, so it's not like one of Disney's best, but overall, it's pretty good. I don't really have that much to complain about. Also, the Snyder Cut, man. Let me tell
let's
you.
hear some Snyder
I
Cut.
was waiting
takes,
for your
Diggins. Come
Snyder
on.
Cut thing.
I mean, listen, I am genuinely going to go in with the most open mind I can. I've never seen Justice League, so I have nothing to compare it to. So I'm going to be going into this with fresh eyes. You know, I'm not going to be like,
Those poor eyes.
Do you watch Justice League? Do you watch Justice League before? I haven't decided if you should or not.
At this point, I feel like I shouldn't.
If anything, I think you want to do it backwards. Because most of us saw Justice League and then are seeing the Snyder Cut. So I think see the Snyder Cut, and then go, how could this movie be like? Because you're doing this from the perspective, like you'll be in the seat of a Warner Brothers executive who gets this work print of Justice League, Zack Snyder, and goes, oh no, we need to change this, and this. Get Joss on the phone, and then see how right you were about what they changed and stuff.
That's true. Yeah. I can see through the eyes of the Warner Brothers themselves.
Finally,
whether or not this was a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. So I think that's the way to do it, but also I don't think you'll ever want to look at this movie again. Either way, if it's good or bad, it's 4 hours long. Why would you want to put 2 hours into just seeing which Justice League is better? It's not worth anyone's time.
How long is the original Justice League?
Just under 2 hours.
Oh my god!
There was a mandate.
Double.
They
King Kong'd this.
Yeah. They said, like,
much.
They were like, your movie has to be less than 2 hours long. And Joss Whedon's like, that's fine. Editing is part of the process of normal filmmaking. And then...
Just like sexual harassment.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, don't even get me started on Joss Whedon. But yeah, everybody, there's so many... I feel like so much of the Snyder Cut was like, they made him edit his vision. It was going to be longer. And I'm like, yeah, all movies are. The only reason the Avengers one did it was because it was different. But every movie could be 8 hours long if they let the director do that. But
yeah, I mean,
you're not supposed to.
Endgame got the hall pass of being the 22nd movie in a 20 or like whatever, like a 50-hour anthology. So it's like, all right,
this was the fifth movie in a 2 minute, like a 10-hour anthology. It's insane. Anyway, what else we got here?
What'd you think of
your
Raya,
thoughts,
Mr.
man?
Oh, yeah, right, Raya.
Yeah,
it was all right. It was like a TV show. I feel like it felt like like an episode of like a TV show.
It did. I really felt by the end, I was like, this is really kind of Avatar in miniature, isn't it?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've only seen the first couple episodes of Avatar in the movie, and the beats are pretty...
Oh, you never went
there.
back to it?
It's so long. It's like it's a big, like, it's like looking at a mountain, you know.
But they're only 22-minute episodes, Nando. You can breeze through that.
Yeah, but there's like a billion of them. If it was, I think maybe if it was 10 seasons of like 5 or 6 episodes each, it would seem more manageable than like 4 seasons of 30 episodes. I don't know why.
3 seasons. There's only 3 seasons.
Yeah. I think one of the problems too is like season 1 of Avatar, it fucking drags. It drags in a lot of places. You'd be better off just watching Korra because it's paced better, especially the first season. I find the first episode of Korra to be much better than the first episode of Avatar.
I believe it.
No? Let's go. Let's have this argument. Let's do it. Come on, boy.
Oh, I have so many thoughts about literally everything DJ just said.
Let's go.
Well, let's talk about this maybe next week. Give me time to watch both, and I'll go in with no expectations. Like, I don't care about any of these characters, and then I feel like...
Diggins, give me like a bullet point, because I'm just so curious. Give a tease. A little tease for the audience.
Definitely don't think Korra is better paced. I think Korra is much worse pacing. It's one of the major things that makes that series less good than Avatar.
Oh, I'm just saying the first season. Just the first season.
And even all seasons of Korra. All of it. Every single part.
All right, good sir.
Interesting. Well, here we are.
I mean, maybe I have no eye for this. Although I will say, bringing it back to a movie that I think is like mediocrely paced. My thoughts on Raya expanded. In case anyone wants to, what do you guys want? You want Raya thoughts? You want Snyder Cut thoughts?
I mean,
I think we should spend at least 2 minutes talking about Raya in this Raya podcast.
All right, cool. So I thought that I enjoyed Raya for what it was. I actually think that. So the weird thing about Disney movies in the non-Pixar division, like going backward, I'm looking at the list right now, and I'm like, what did I get from you that like you made me like feel something that made me think? And I was like, oh, this like I had a really good experience with it. And I'm going backwards, and the last Disney movie I could say that was like, again, non-Pixar division, I'm like, holy shit, really good movie, would watch every time, and I love the messaging and everything, was like Zootopia. And like I haven't had anything close to Zootopia since Zootopia came out.
I'm not even going to give that to Zootopia. I'll take Wreck-It Ralph as like my last real Grand Slam Disney movie. I feel like...
Really?
Yeah, I like Zootopia, but I've never had inkling to watch it a second time. I feel like I got it.
Oh,
but
man,
with Wreck-It Ralph, I'm like, you know what, too? If I talk to someone that's like, I never saw Wreck-It Ralph, I'm like, you gotta see Wreck-It Ralph. But if I talk to someone that's like, I never saw Zootopia, I'm be like, I think you'd get it.
For real? Damn.
Yeah, the little animals, the animals are people, they do people things. And racism is like the whole thing. And then, but like Wreck-It Ralph, it's like so much more, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think Wreck-It Ralph also feels more like groundbreaking as a, not like groundbreaking. I think groundbreaking's not the right word. But
well, it's the fists. He has those like really big fists,
exactly.
and it's kind of the point. So.
Groundbreaking and ground
ground.
fixing. Yeah. But it felt more like more new and more of like a pitch that I'd be like, supervillain in a video game goes bad. That's like, wow, that's going to be something. Hop to video games versus like the planet has like a bunny and she's like an animal and the animals are cops and the different animals are racism. I don't know. It's fine. Some of them are The Godfather.
I guess for me, I think that like Zootopia, I guess for me, like in the micro, there's just like a lot there, like in individual moments that I just get like a lot of joy out of. And I think Raya kind of like has this problem, but I don't think it makes it like a bad movie. I think Moana might suffer from this a little bit more. Is that because everything is just I know I'm the worst on my Moana opinion. I've already been told this. Is that the action is so just similar throughout it, and we're moving through the movie without able to like appreciate anything. I just think a lot of the stuff gets lost. Like this movie would have benefit if what's the name of the whole nation?
Kumandra.
Kumandra.
If Kumandra was like 3 sub-nations instead of 5, right? The 5 is too many.
Yeah.
I know it's like such a dumb critique, but like it's just and they're parts of the dragon. It's cute. But I just think we don't have any time to spend at place to place, and we're like zipping through the movie. And I didn't even mind like this movie's like you gotta trust people, even sometimes if the trust isn't earned, and like getting over your mistakes. I think all those things are good. I just don't think at any point be able to sit there and appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh,
and I
feel
actually
free to mind those things, DJ. I don't think the movie deserves credit for that message either, because the movie does not commit to it, or within the movie itself, it doesn't seem to know what to deal with that message is. Like
the trusting people or getting over mistakes or
trusting people. I think the movie has a really weird view on how to treat like people that have been in like traumatic situations and how to trust people in the world outside of that.
Well, yeah, because it's like sometimes the movie goes, hey, trusting people is a good thing because there's a reward on the other end. And then sometimes the movie goes, hey, trusting people can really backfire. However, in like the movie's defense, like that's kind of true. Now, I don't think the movie explores that much of a nuanced take on it. I feel like the bad things happen in the early parts of the movie and the good things happen at the end parts of the movie. But, like, they might have been, like, I don't know, close to being like, look, man, trust is a mixed bag. But, you know, we're better off as a society if, like, more people trust each other.
Oh, yeah.
For, like, a thing you want to tell kids, right?
I think they needed a character. I think, and we talked about, like, I forget which one you mentioned, Sisu being the issue with the movie, or like one of the issues, is I feel like her point of view doesn't clash with Raya's in an interesting enough way to make some sort of nuanced point. Raya has a message, and she has a thing that she learns over the course of the movie, and Zissou doesn't contribute anything to that or learn anything. So, I mean, she learned something, but not about that. So that by the time we get to like, what's the message about trusting people? It's just do it. It's good to do. And it's like, no, it's not. Because if it was, the dragon would have died. Like, you guys forgot about that scene where the person tried to kill the dragon?
I took that as a, she was a maybe, but, in the end she was going to, I'm
talking about the one in Lake Town or whatever it's called. The one where the person, just kidnapped the dragon. Because the dragon was too trusting. Like,
sure.
It breaks the whole thing. I do not get it. And I agree. I think maybe 5 kingdoms, but we show 3 or something. We meet people from 5, but we don't have to go to every single one, especially since going to 2, you go there and there's nothing there. So it's like, why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
Have her tell us she went to places where there was nobody left. And then, we meet the other people in the big port town. I don't know.
Yeah, have Fang have 3 pieces. Why not? They seem to be the war one.
Or have the other one already have 3 pieces. You're saying Fang. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I keep forgetting. What are the 5 nations?
It's Fang, Heart, Talon, Tail, Spine.
Yes. And what are they? Let's start here. What is the deal with the nations? What are their personality types?
Oh, God. Like, Fang is punch,
and cat.
the only one.
Fire. They are the Fire Nation, right?
They are the Fire Nation.
They really are.
What's hard? Are they the Air Nation?
They're the air nomads.
Or whatever that would be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Water is the Lake Town one. Which one was that?
Is it though?
Talon.
I feel like Talon is Earth, from what I understand about Avatar. They map a little better to the Earth Nation.
Tail is probably more, or Spine. Tail and Spine are kind of both water, which makes sense because there's only one nation left.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I mean, we don't really get anything out of Tail because the only Tail person we meet is Boone, and Boone's just kind of got his own personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know where else do we start with this? Okay, so we got all the town, like all the places, and they are in the map is in the shape of a dragon.
Yeah, the dragon's like a big river, and then
there's like a central river that their civilization is based around, and that river is shaped like a dragon.
Yeah,
and it used to be 500 years ago. There were also actual dragons that lived with them, who brought them prosperity. But then,
as they do,
then a bunch of purple smoke monsters showed up that turned people and dragons to stone.
Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked,
and they turned all the dragons to stone except for one who used big magic to make the smoke people go away and turn all the people back into flesh. But the dragons were still stone, and the dragon who did it disappeared. And then the people immediately started fighting over the gem the dragon left behind that fixed the problem. And so the Kumandra split into 5 different nations, which we've already talked about.
That tracks, right? I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
can't be trusted.
Totally functional backstory.
It feels. Is there something about this? I guess there's something about this for me that feels a lot like other Pixar or other Disney movies, recent Disney movies. The whole like.
Oh, you mean how this is a movie in which a young woman goes on a buddy comedy road trip with her non-romantic interest friend who is a more powerful being that she has to work with to solve a big problem?
Yeah, Zootopia.
That for sure, but also, Zootopia, exactly. No, I guess that, but also, like, just the villains, the threat of the Blight feels very, like, ripped from, like, it feels like the Cybugs from Wreck-It Ralph. It feels like the, like, Droughts from Moana. It feels like the, nanomachines from Big Hero 6. Like, I feel like a lot of these movies, and it feels like Frozen, how Frozen had, like, the spirits of rebelled and stuff. But Disney does this a lot now. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of moving away from like the '90s classic Disney villain format and towards just like there's a big evil and you got to fight the big evil.
Is it because of climate change? It's probably because of climate change. All these movies, because they're usually a metaphor for climate change or something, or climate change-like problem, I guess.
Or the world's most famous coronavirus.
What's that? Sounds exciting. Was there one point where we had the vaccine and like someone tried to steal it from Joe Biden and he dropped it and it split into a million pieces? Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci's daughter had to reassemble the pieces of the vaccine over 6 years.
That's what happened. That's what that message Trump sent out actually meant. He just saw this movie and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's what they needed to do. That's what would have taken 5 years."
You know what's nuts? Talk about a movie that could fit into that format where there's like just a big bad.
Yeah,
this movie could have been that. Like this movie could have like seated nicely into that format. I had thought from some of the trailers, and like I wasn't let down, but I thought this was just gonna be more like, oh, Disney's just gonna make like an action movie. Cool. Let's see what they can do. And it's kind of that, like some of the fight choreography and a couple of the scenes for like 10 minutes is like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I actually love the chainsword. I was like, that chainsword's fucking dope.
Yeah, the one from
Soul
whatchamacallit.
Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
I love
same.
that shit.
Oh my god,
it doesn't make any sense in like how that would work, but
it has a trigger.
Cool.
DJ, what more do you need? The trigger makes it go.
Sword, gun, sword, gun, sword, gun.
Yeah, I agree. I think these movies could use villains again. I think they make them better. And I think
they help.
Every so often they would be like, but that's the point, you know? And that's like the point of Moana is it's not a villain, but maybe there's a villain. I don't know. Maybe that personality can be the antithesis to our hero in some interesting way. And then we'll have to figure out what the hero believes and what the message of the movie is.
Well, and that's why, like, Frozen, they were like, okay, let's have the end thing be like the true love conquers all isn't what you think it is.
Right.
It could be this other thing where it's like the love, a fraternal, right? A fraternal love.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
DJ,
not like a
that
fraternal
specifically refers to brothers.
Oh my god, is there a word for sisters?
Sisternal.
Yeah. Not
That's
quite.
what everyone's, yeah. Cis white sisters, exactly. Sisternal. I mean, maybe not.
No, I guess what this word is. Is it like sororal?
Probably,
like
right? Fraternity.
It is literally sororal, yes, because sorority is the Latin word for sisterhood, just like fraternity is the Latin word for brotherhood.
Okay, well, whatever. Point still stands. You could have a sororal love or a fraternal love, right? That could be the true love conquers all thing. But, like, we haven't had many, like, kind of, like, put, thumb on chin, interesting, like, ideas, I don't know, in a while from the Disney Corporation non-Pixar category.
It's almost like these movies are almost about to do something. They're all within about an inch of doing the thing, and that's what the movie's about. But then at the end, they don't do that thing, so then the movie isn't about that. And then they have to figure out what it's actually about. Because, yeah, after Frozen 2, then this one, it's just like, come on, guys. Just do it already.
I will say, Frozen 2 is way more of a mess than this movie is.
Oh, yeah. And Frozen 2,
goodness, yeah.
equally behind the scenes a mess. Like,
Frozen 2 feels like it was a behind-the-scenes mess in a way that even this movie doesn't feel as bad as Frozen 2 does.
No.
But I guess it comes back to, like, you're like, it's kind of like with Star Wars when people are like, what, doesn't it have a plan? They don't all need to have plans. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But when they fail and they don't have plans, it's like, that's why it failed. And like, with this, it's like, it failed. And this one didn't fail necessarily, but it was like kind of a mess.
I don't think this movie failed. I think it's fine.
But yeah, kind of a mess, plus behind-the-scenes drama. You kind of go, well, I guess the behind-the-scenes drama probably had something to do with the kind of a mess part. And just in general, not having behind-the-scenes drama always helps. And not like drama like, backstabbing, but just like people leaving and coming and going. And I think, COVID didn't help, but I don't think the schedule for this made it seem like COVID was really the problem. Like, this was supposed to come out last year, right?
Yeah, in November.
Yes,
so it only delayed like 4 months.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. I guess, but yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, like, unlike a certain movie, maybe tomorrow or next week or whatever, this movie looked finished. I don't think they were missing any, any color grading or backgrounds or whatever.
I just think this movie looks stunning. We're talking about like how a movie looks.
It looks
that was
great.
Incredible. The water, I can't get over the freaking water, man. Looks like water.
Yeah, I was assuming they just poured real water on the film every so often.
And the
just make it look all
snozzberries, they
wet.
looked like snozzberries.
Snozzberries.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This movie, it's got its moments.
I think, being fair to this movie, it is like a very entertaining romp. At least it was for me. We don't spend nearly enough time with the characters, but I'm just like, I like these characters, and like they don't always like pull this off well. Like they, what's weird is this movie, I feel like got some notes from like Marvel movies. It's like, okay, well,
if only.
what if there's kind of
That's what all movies should get. Just kidding. Go on.
What if there was like a snap kind of event, right? Like, what if that was like kind of a thing?
What if you had to collect brightly colored stones to fix the big world problem?
What if
the hero never actually does the thing that's supposed to be their flaw in a way that impedes the progress of the movie? And, there's character development that doesn't feel fully formed.
What if Wong is in it? That's my comment. What if Awkwafina's in it? She's in one of them soon.
What if at the end of the movie you all hold hands while generic purple stuff is kind of just flying around?
Yeah, very, very that.
It was super Guardians at the end. It was like shot for shot guard. They might as well end up with a dance off.
Yeah, just you wait until Star-Lord in universe sees this movie and then has to reference it in future movies and be like, they didn't know.
But like it's like more, like I don't know, seriously though, like it's like a lot of it works. I wasn't mad about my like $30 like I was with Mulan. Like I was furious with Mulan.
It's way better than Mulan.
Yeah, and like I enjoyed it too. I was like, all right, $30 well spent. And you want to talk about like pacing? Like that 2 hours just like goes by. Like it didn't drag for me at any point.
And I just want to make this clear to everybody: we are comparing this to Mulan because they are both about Asian American characters. Anyway, moving on.
They are neither of them
really
are about
trying
Asian
to get me
American
canceled.
characters.
Oh yeah, I guess Asian.
At all.
That's true. They are about Asian. Well, it's not Asian America, is it? Though it's not even America or the world. It's the Kumandra
It's not America
verse
at
or
all.
whatever.
Well, it's not.
Yeah. Right.
In this one, it's not Asia. In Mulan, it is Asia because it is supposed to be ancient China.
Yeah. This is the Kumandran.
But yeah, isn't it interesting that these are the only two movies that Disney Plus has taken a shot of at making you pay for?
As opposed to Artemis Fowl.
Or Soul. Soul is the one that I'm like, Soul is better than all of them. And that one they gave us for free. You know, I think Soul is better than this.
Kind of on par with this one. It's definitely better than Mulan,
really?
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, man.
I don't think
Soul kicked this movie's butt.
Yeah, I don't think Soul is the best, Pixar movie ever, but I do think it was. I found that way more interesting and kind of like what's the word? Like it felt like a big kind of Pixar big swing.
Sure.
Where there was just enough there.
I don't think you're crazy to think Soul is better. I'm just like,
yeah. No,
I like them. I like them both in different ways, and also for both of them, I'm like, they're not as good as they could have been.
But do you think that's part of it? Is there a reason why these two are the ones that they tried to get you to pay for, and Soul and Artemis Fowl they didn't? Artemis Fowl obviously is its own thing.
I thought they. Yeah, I think they knew what they had, and they're like, "This is a throwaway."
Yeah.
Like why didn't they make people pay for New Mutants? Right. They just kind of gave that one for free too.
Did they? Who's they?
Oh wait,
where did you get New Mutants from? You had to pay for New Mutants.
Yeah, wait, DJ, are you admitting to something?
DJ,
was New Mutants not Disney? Was New Mutants not Disney Plus? Am I like crazy?
Not even that's the whole thing. Apparently, was like it couldn't put it on Disney Plus because they had ongoing agreements with HBO where like they would have gotten first shot at it, so you had to buy it, which DJ did, and he forgot about it. Yeah. DJ keeps his receipts all on his desk in order, so I'm sure you're picking it up right now and going, yes, there it is.
Yeah, of course.
Read us your credit card number just to prove it. And
don't forget the security code.
I was going to say, yeah, those 3 numbers on the back are very important to know if you watch the movie.
Just to make it super easy.
And then, but yeah, so then it was only VOD. It wasn't even on, like, you couldn't pay for it on Disney Plus or Hulu, I don't think.
Right, no, it's just insane. But anyway, yeah, yes, I Artemis Fowl, it was clearly bad, they knew that. Soul, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe Pixar was just feeling super generous.
Maybe.
I don't know if it's different decision makers, like...
I mean, maybe they were like, we have to pay everyone back for watching Artemis Fowl. Let's give them a free one. And then we can start charging them for movies later. I think that could be it. Or maybe they just like wanted to get more watch numbers than... I mean, I don't think there's any specific reason either. I'm honestly just curious. It could have been that they knew they were going up against Wonder Woman and wanted to beat Wonder Woman by giving away another movie for free and then being able to say like 20 million people streamed ours. Like it could have been anything.
Maybe they were like, it's Christmas and we want to give everyone a big Christmas present because we're not a soulless, faceless corporation that desires money and power at all costs. We're your friends who just want to give you Christmas presents.
I mean, other corporations maybe, but Disney would do that because they are our friends. And they're better.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust HBO Max or Paramount Plus, for instance. Soulless corporation.
Oh, God.
Paramount Plus.
Did Soul come out in movie theaters? Because I know...
I don't think so.
I know that
I want to say
Raya
yes.
did.
Did Soul
So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Or I could just be, making shit
I think it was like... Yeah, I think it was the same kind of like limited, small releases we've been getting for months now.
I guess that's true. But like, yeah. And Raya was in theaters, to be fair. And like some people, getting vaccinated, go to theaters if that's safe and stuff. That it will be a thing. So, I still don't think they're gonna go bold true with Black Widow. Like, I think at the last minute they're gonna change the release date of that. But I do think something like Suicide Squad in August, if that was gonna be in theaters, if they hadn't already committed to putting that on HBO Max, I think they might go through with it. Like, I think that as a release date isn't crazy, which is interesting. Because I think we're hitting that wall finally, which is cool in America at least. I don't know, and that for now.
We'll see.
Yeah, some parts of the U.S. are they're trying as hard as they can to cook up a variant that could wipe all this progress right away. But for now, knock on wood. But yeah, the Raya and the Last Dragon. It's like, so. Well, let's start with. It's about like Is Avatar about this? Why did the Fire Nation attack? Just cause they kind of thought they could get one over on people?
Manifest Destiny by the Emperor, more or less. Right?
Wait, are you talking about in Avatar or in this movie?
No, in Avatar. I will get to this movie, but I'm curious because the inciting incident here is kind of weird.
Without getting into spoiler specifics, the general idea is just, yes, the Emperor of the Fire Nation at the time was just like, I bet we could conquer everybody. We're cool enough to do that. And so they started doing it.
Yeah, Manifest Destiny.
And then...
It's like, I think we got this.
Why does it happen in this movie?
So as we said, they divided into nations because they were all fighting over the Dragon Gem, which the nation of Heart is currently in possession of. And Heart is where our hero Raya is from. She's the daughter of Heart's chieftain. But he wants to recreate Kumandra, so he has invited all the other nations to come meet with him so they can talk about reuniting. But on Fang's part, agreeing to this was just a ploy, and the daughter of Fang's queen befriends Raya and tricks her into showing her where the gem is so that they can steal it. But in the process of stealing it, the gem ends up shattering.
Such a heady play by Fang.
Like, why do they make the play?
Because the other nations are convinced that Heart is prosperous because they have the Dragon Gem. Which
is it true?
They never really go deep into whether or not that's true. Heart doesn't think it's true.
Well, of course they don't.
We're never really given a reason why the others think it is true, or whether or not there is anything behind that.
Well, what's his name? Daddy Heart has this really interesting energy that's like, we'll invite them all over for dinner. And but it also feels like if you asked him, he'd be like, why don't those other nations just pull themselves up by their bootstraps like Heart did? Like, I kind of could see a world where if he wasn't the, all-knowing father figure who was going to, have to be saved and stuff, where he could kind of be at fault, and the Dragon Gem was giving them... Because the movie almost, for a second here, has that perspective, or has something to say about, the inequality between these different parts of this nation, but it doesn't commit to that, because that would be a difficult message. But maybe a cool one, I would like that message. I feel like we've probably done that in Disney movies that I can't think of. But yeah, it is weird because that's...
Frozen 2 sort of tried to do that, although they failed pretty bad.
Yeah, again, they also feel like they pulled back at the last minute. That's not the thing that I was alluding to, but I think they do that all the time. That feels like a...
Well, I meant specifically that of coming from the heroes coming from the wealthier, better off place and realizing, oh man, we should actually do stuff for these other people.
Oh, for sure. And it's definitely, with this, I think the movie knows that there needs to be an inciting incident. And there needs to be some sort of, turmoil within the city. But it also knows that Raya has to be the one that loses the gem, which means she has to be the one that had it. But it also knows that Raya's dad has to be nice. And all three of those ideas are in conflict with each other. One of them has to give for the story to be interesting. I don't know which one it is, but if one of those things was not true, we'd get a movie where, like, you know, the one nation was kind of selfish, or we'd get a version where Raya was from the nation that was scraping by, and she didn't try to break the gem, but now they broke it, and everyone's kind of cool with it. But, like, yeah, this movie felt like just couldn't pick a lane. But okay, so it breaks, and then what happens?
So apparently this, like, horrible, like, purple mist known as the Druun? Is the Druun?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was being held back by the Dragon Gem just existing. And after it breaks, they come back.
Oh, my God.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not good. These Druun are bad news. They turn everyone to stone, which is bad.
They do a cool kind of like prayer-like pose when they do get turned to stone.
Yeah.
I wanted to know why that was, but they never tell you.
It's probably rooted somewhere in like some kind of Southeast Asian mythology that I don't know.
Tell me then. Explain it to me. I'm a Dumbo.
I just said I don't know. I just said I don't know it.
Not you, the movie. No tickets. I don't need you to tell me about, you know, everything.
Yeah, Diggins,
lobster cloaca.
Diggins, explain the Southeastern mythology that might not even exist that the movie did.
Is Kumandra based on anything?
Yeah.
Is climate change?
Another way that this is somewhat similar to Avatar is that it draws on several Southeast Asian nations in their culture and mythology. Like how Avatar was a general Asian melange of kind of Japan, China, Inuit, and Tibetan cultures. This is very focused on very like Vietnamese, Cambodian, Laotian, Thai, just Southeast Asian cultures.
That's why they got all the actors from those places, right?
Well... So I did want to bring this up at some. I did want to bring this up at some point because it is kind of
we're here.
Weird. Where every major voice actor in this, I think, other than Alan Tudyk, is of Asian descent. That is true,
and that's all we need to know. Oh, sorry, there's more.
What a great way to end a sentence, Diggins.
Many of them are East Asian, like Chinese. Which is not the region this movie is about. So it's like, I understand the thinking, like how Moana, all the major voice actors in Moana are Polynesian to some, of some Polynesian culture, or Pacific Islander culture, if you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird how they seem to make that same commitment, but then it was just the continent of Asia and not Southeast Asia specifically. And I mean, that's kind of a thing in general where we tend to flatten Asia, especially like once you get east of the Middle East, to just one big area where it's all just like, they're all the same, right? It's all just Asian.
What do you mean? Says Walt Disney, chomping a cigar. They're all Asian. I'm walking here. I'm rolling on my sliding frozen head.
Hey,
what
you wanted progress? This is it.
Yeah.
What are you breaking my balls for? I gave you them.
Yeah. So it's just kind of weird that we end up in that place.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember this, Idris Elba was on SNL a while back, and they did a sketch that was like, can I play that? And it wasn't very good. But it was like the whole bit was like it was actors kind of complaining about why they couldn't play different races, like people, or like not races specifically, but like stuff. And they did ask that at one point. They're like, who can play a Japanese character? And it's like anyone that's Chinese, Korean, and maybe Pakistani. And like, it's like, yes, that's right. As long as you're from Asia, it's all fine. And like, I did think of that when I was watching this movie. So I was like, I think this movie is going for more than just Asia, but I can't quite pick that out from the cast, which like I get kind of. I don't want to lose the white hot star power of Benedict Wong. Otherwise, what's this movie, you know, who's going to even bother to see it? But I don't know, it's an interesting choice.
I mean, like Disney's, you know, are they trying to get credit for like, look, we're being more inclusive, guys, we mean it.
Yes, that one. Well, that's what's happening, I think.
But like, it's good that this movie was made and that it features in the movie. like, you know, people from different backgrounds that they don't normally showcase, like animals in Zootopia. And it's good that, like, these actors did get work, because it's always good to, you know, get people of color work. So I'm not trying to defend Disney. You know, it's just like, how hard should we go in on them?
Yeah, it's a shame that
as hard as we possibly can. Let's go.
Well, no,
Let's go.
they got
baseball bats.
There's
out.
only one, you know, actress of that descent and of that area, and it's Kelly Bertrand. They got her. What are they supposed to do? Find more? Impossible. Call it a day. What are we supposed to do? It's almost
Captain Easy Stance is over here, or Captain Easy Stance, I should say. How's that ship going? Diggins, the captain, Nando, the first mate of the USS Easy Stance.
That's it.
I was
get on the boat.
It's
nice. We got Barcalanders and everything.
Yeah, it's very easy. You don't have to do any work at all.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's worth noting Cassie Steele, the original voice actress, she is Filipina, which is also in the melange of cultures they are doing here.
Okay.
So, you know, also that seems to have been a consideration from the start, at least.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because they didn't have to do any press for this movie. They still did on, like, you know, shows, but there were not, like, the kind of press junkets that you would get for a traditional kind of movie. So it's interesting that we didn't get to see, like, I don't know, not like them talk about this, but it's like the publicity of the movie wasn't as big of a deal as it usually is.
Well, did you know that that all the dialogue in this was recorded remotely by the voice actors, like, in their own circumstances?
That's pretty cool.
No way. They all had so much chemistry. I don't know.
Dialogue is recorded separately to begin with anyway. They're just in studios usually.
Yeah.
I think that, Diggins, I appreciated the factoid. I think that was very good.
It's like how Adam Driver was recording bits of Star Wars ADR in his closet a week before it came out, apparently.
Yeah.
Because it just never ends. The movie's never done. It's still not done. It's not done until 3 or 4 years after, when HBO puts out a 4-hour-long version
the Abrams
of it.
cut.
Unless then it gets leaked. Then there has been sabotage, and we have to do it again in a couple of years. It's great.
When he's been less betrayed.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that the movie doesn't take a really strong stance on what's going on between the villages, not villages, but like they're like places.
Yeah, sub-nations, whatever you want to
they're
call
not that
it.
big, though, right? Like, we see them. They're all, like, especially the last one. It's not that big.
I don't know how big Kumandra is. Like, the whole river might be the size of, like, a river outside my house.
Yeah,
like,
it feels like Game of Thrones, where there's, like, max 10,000 people in this whole planet. Like, and it's like...
right?
You've seen them all. There they all are.
Like, this whole continent might be the size of Manhattan. You just have no idea.
I think that's right. But yeah, so there's this whole rift and whatever, and then we flash forward 10 years. Or not 10 years, 5 years.
6 years.
6 years? Okay.
6.
Which is a weird number to pick. They didn't want to do 5 because that's exactly Endgame.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're not unreasonable. We're not monsters.
They wanted to make sure that... No, I can't say what I was going to say.
Oh, but
man.
I want to hear it now.
They didn't
Okay, this is the clean take if you want to put this in and not edit it out. They wanted to make sure that Raya was 18 later, so that when the foot fetishists got to all the foot scenes, they wouldn't get in any legal trouble.
That's staying in.
Yeah,
that's staying in. I'm not taking that out.
Fine. When I'm canceled, it's on your head.
Is she 18
right,
in the movie?
enough.
Is that like a...
I think that's the implication,
Okay.
yes.
I mean,
Why else
I
would you
figured
pick a
it was
number like
probably like a 12 to 18 situation. She seemed like a tween in
That
those
makes
early
sense.
scenes.
Oh, I mean, she was a total tween. Remember that dialogue she said to the younger, whatever, villain one? Where she's like, you're a nerd for dragons. I'm a total nerd for dragons. That's how kids speak, right? Kids talk like that.
In Kumandra, maybe. I don't know.
It infuriates me. Nobody says that.
Oh, really?
I like dragons. Oh, you like dragons? I really like dragons. Like, people... I mean, there's 8 writers, so who knows? But it just smacks of adults writing kids.
The character is Namari, and you refer, of course, to her girlfriend.
I called her Earring Girl because she had this cool earring that covered her whole ear, and also she's Gemma Chan. I call them all their names in real life, so she's Gemma Chan.
So that's a recurring podcast feature where we use those names interchangeably.
Yeah. So
often.
for people that need to know, she might be, what was her name? Namari?
Yeah.
So she could be Namari. She could be Zuko. I'm assuming that's what analog she is in the
yeah,
cartoon.
Oh, she's 1,000% Zuko.
She could also be Gemma Chan. She could also be Cersei, the name of that Gemma Chan's character in the new Marvel movie they're making. Or she could be Minerva, the name of Gemma Chan's character in the Captain Marvel movie that she was also in. There's other Gemma Chan stuff. I don't know what her names are in like crazy rotations and stuff. But
I will say the Zuko parallel works really well too because Zuko and Aang famously had a lot of sexual tension, so it like really.
Well, I saw that on
works,
Google Images. Yeah, there's a lot of. Yeah.
Now, DJ. Sisu is Aang. And Zuko did have a lot of chemistry that the fans jumped on with the character who is the closest parallel to Raya, Katara.
Katara, yeah.
That's true. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Sisu is Aang.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's Damn, I just got.
You got, baby.
You tried to make me look like a fool, but it was I who made you the fool.
Listen, I mean, to be fair to DJ, like I'm sure there's fan art that would suggest chemistry between any character in Avatar: The Last Airbender and any other character in Avatar: The Last Airbender, because that's how the internet works with everything.
What I asked a real dumb question to Michelle after this. I'm like, so is there going to be like a lot of like Raya, Minari shipping and a lot of art? She's like, it already exists. It's already on the internet. It's already everywhere. I'm like, oh.
Kelly Marie Tran has already commented on it.
Oh, what did she say about it?
She said that she totally feels that there's a romantic subtext to their relationship. And if people feel represented by it, she thinks that's great.
Yeah, you know what else would be great? If Disney would think that. If we didn't know how to live up to bullshit fan theories.
I completely agree.
It's so annoying. I harken back to the day. Remember when in fucking Finding Nemo or Finding Dory there was representation and you were like, how? That's interesting. Is Dory going to be LGBTQ whatever? Nope. It's two people holding hands and they're both ladies, and that's it, you know?
For now like half a second.
Yeah, but now we've gone in the other direction where we just constantly play chicken with it. Everybody knows what's going on, but Disney can't tell us. So we just say, because honestly, there's
been like 5 first openly gay Disney characters.
Yeah.
Because they keep like redefining the terms because each version is like a millimeter less chicken shit than the last one.
Well, they're more explicitly gay, but they're less important. They are both fading in and out of the movie. So, like, yeah, it's just going to be some random passerby, but it's not going to, it's not going to be something that's left up to fan theories. That's what we'll get. I mean,
what are they scared of at this point? Like, just do it, man. Like, I don't
think they're scared of a specific audience and other prejudice in general.
A very large specific audience
very
that many movies try to cater to.
Yeah. The same.
Scientologists.
Not necessarily the audience.
Sense.
Not necessarily the audience themselves, but people who control access to that audience who don't like this thing.
Yeah. They're cool.
The Freemasons.
Yep. I'm talking about the Freemasons and how they control society.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we're talking about people from Long Island. They are bigoted, and we need to get rid of. No, they're cool. I mean, some of them are probably. I'm not going to give it all to Long Island.
As a New Yorker, I'm not willing to endorse the statement that Long Islanders are cool.
I love Long Island.
I really think you guys mean Staten Island.
As long as it's from New York and it's got island in it, they're not cool. I like my Brooklyn, my Queens, and my Manhattan, please. Also the Bronx.
Mainland's baby.
Yeah, not the fifth borough, and definitely not the 6th borough. No, thank you.
Ugh.
Oh, New Jersey, get it out of here.
Yeah, that might be. They should toss that thing into the sea, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, someone who lives here. Yeah, get rid of us. We are awful.
Yeah, nah, New Jersey's cool. They should make a movie where I don't know. What are we talking about? Everyone in New Jersey is openly gay or something. What point were we trying to make? I can't remember.
Disney,
right.
brave
Yeah,
with your
Disney.
stances, make an actual openly gay character.
Make the movie really boring otherwise. Like, don't really, just start simple and work your way up instead of starting really complicated and working your way back down to too simple. Because I think that's the only way this is going to work. They made that one short movie, that one like little short where someone was gay, like one of their little Pixar shorts or something.
Oh yeah, the one with the dog.
Yeah,
that's actually really good. I very much enjoyed that.
So there you go.
Damn it, I can't remember. I have to look at the short now because I'm too much of an idiot if I can't name the short.
101
it's
Dalmatians.
on Disney Plus.
Cruella, 102 Dalmatians. You're talking about dog movies. Pluto's Big Adventure, a Goofy movie.
It's called Out, which, duh.
Well, you know what? It's better than nothing.
No, it's actually good.
Yeah.
I get it. It's like, okay, so, I don't know. It was like, we got into some weird, social commentary stuff, but it's like, progress is important. Every step counts, even if it's an increment. Also, do better. I don't know. You're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Do better.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, if you feel represented, if you feel seen, great. I'm not trying to take away from anyone's feelings, but I'm also not willing to give credit to the billion-dollar corporation that could do better if it wanted to.
Yeah, and I feel like we have been getting a lot of this recently where, I want to say, Birds of Prey had some of this, too, where the character was, kind of... Well, no, actually, Birds of Prey had way more of this with Renee Montoya. They went for it, where they were just this character is... But, with I feel like there have been other characters in other movies where you're like, this character, maybe they are, maybe they're not. You figure, tell us which one you want it to be, and... You just have it be that. It's all Schrodinger's representation, which is stupid. So, I guess it's better than nothing, but they could all...
we're not experts on this at all. We're, the most, milquetoast.
We watched the movie, so we know.
Fucking well.
And you know what? But Marvel, to be fair, Marvel's got Eternals. They've been sitting on it for a year, but that one's supposed to have, the first actual openly gay hero, so that's something.
That will be nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait for him to die.
I mean, they're all going to protect him. They're going to be like, we actually want to keep this guy around. It's important for us as a corporation. We fucking Mickey Mouse will show up from Kingdom Hearts and be like, never mind, everyone stay away from Phastos. We need him. The rest of you can die. Icarus. I mean, it's an Eternal, so he can't die. He'll be back no matter what.
That's true. It's in the
unless
name.
they break the whatever building engine that keeps Eternals alive. They cannot die. But they do have one some sort of representation in Eternals. And speaking of Asian representation, you got the Shang-Chi movie, which is supposed to come out this year, maybe.
Yeah.
Many of the actors, Awkwafina's in it as well. Because Disney discovered Awkwafina 3 years ago, and they're very excited about her. They're going to make sure she's in everything.
So if I could say something about Awkwafina's performance in this movie.
Yep.
I've had mixed results on different Awkwafina performances that I've seen. I was not love Ocean's 11, thought Crazy Rich Asians was okay. I can't summon others to the top of my head. But in this I was okay, they did the thing. They got the comedian to be the voice actor, and I thought she was fine. I actually was this is fine. There's nothing bad here that it's oh man, they really should have cast someone else. They wanted to get an amount of representation in. They went with a name because Disney is addicted to names, and
Awkwafina,
and I'm fine with it.
Did you know Awkwafina is going to be playing Scuttle in the live action Little Mermaid movie because Disney does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weird choice. Weird choice.
She's probably Shang-Chi's best friend or something. I don't know. She's in there somewhere. I will
say, DJ, I think it's a little mean of you to criticize Awkwafina's role in Ocean's 11, considering she was 13 and also not in it.
Ocean's 8, whatever.
Well, they're gonna. If it was Marvel, they would retcon it as Awkwafina's character was the one that walked by the camera for 1 second, and she was actually there during the Bellagio heist, and also she was in the collapsing one in 13, and also I guess France in the second one. I don't. And also her mom or something was in the one where Frank Sinatra and his friends stand around and smoke. She's been there since the very beginning.
So, but anyway, yeah.
Awkwafina.
I thought she was fine.
Yeah, she was fine. I think she did her thing. I imagine these are. I think The problem with her here for me, and the problem with anyone like her here for me, is I think this movie takes itself so seriously and so not seriously at times that just tonally it feels very discordant. Not to say that it's her fault or any comedian's fault or any of the other comic relief character who has a tragic backstory's fault. But I do just feel like there was this big shift in tone between, like, we're in the wasteland and none of us can eat food and whatever, and, like, no, it's cool. I'm Aquafina. I didn't realize I had hands. Like, I don't know. But that's not a knock on her. I think tonally there was something going on in this movie that didn't quite work. Not like didn't work for me, but felt strange. And since she was the comic relief, she was the, biggest lightning rod for that. What about you, Diggins? What did you think of Sisu? She said she was your favorite character because of how well written she was. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think
we'll move on then from that. Oh, excuse me, Diggins.
I don't think she's poorly written. I think she's just kind of underwritten, which is to say that they don't. So here's the thing about the Sisu character for me. The very first thing that happens when this character shows up is Raya summons her. She appears in a magic cloud and hasn't realized any time has passed, and they get to talking, and Sisu goes like, I'm not really like famous legendary dragon. I'm just kind of regular underperforming dragon. Oh, geez. You guys think I'm super cool dragon god or something? Oh, beans. Which establishes a very particular character type and like arc that you're going for about kind of disabusing Raya of the legend, and showing that, or maybe showing that, you don't have to be some super powerful dragon god to do things. You just have to be a person who tries. Or, there's various ideas that come to your mind when you have a character say something like that. But from that point forward, like, that's the last time that's really kind of a driving part of her character. She's not particularly incompetent through the rest of the movie. When she tries to do things, she generally succeeds. There's never really any exploration of her, like, feeling inferior to her siblings or why she didn't think that she was a super powerful dragon god or whatever. It's a very strange introduction to the character because it has really no bearing on the rest of her arc, which is more that she thinks that Raya should trust people and wants to be very trusting and work with all the other nations. Which then, going from there, also feels slightly underwritten because her view of it doesn't really get challenged that much, but also Raya's view of it doesn't really cause them any problems either. Like, she's distrustful in several circumstances where that shows you how they have conflicting ideas about this. But either Raya is right and they shouldn't have trusted the people, or Sisu is right, but Raya just like immediately acquiesces to that view and trusts the person, and then they move on without having discussed it further or really resolved their conflict. So there's never any real like tangible conflict between their points of view in a way that, actually drives the events of the movie. Up until the very end when you have the crossbow standoff, I suppose. But it just feels like the movie was kind of missing that. Well, and so it just, I think those problems could have been solved by giving more care to who the Sisu character was, like what her deal was, what she represented, and what the clash between her and Raya's points of view meant for the movie.
Yeah, I feel like, even the crossbow standoff, which for anybody that hasn't seen it, which, by this point, you must be so confused. Because we haven't gone plot-wide at all, which is fine, because the plot is fine. She goes to places, meets people. But
meets a con artist baby.
She does a boss baby. We need a boss baby in every movie, guys. Listen, I'm not going to complain about too many boss babies. That's for sure.
The baby may have worn out its welcome a bit, but the first time they revealed that it was a con artist baby, I laughed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend I didn't.
I like the bit in the movie where we see a young person, and it's like, oh my god, this young person has a job that we don't think the young person has, and that person's the boat person, and then we do it again with Boss Baby, but younger and more interesting job. So it's like by the end of the movie, we should be meeting like a little fetus that is
a zygote
secretly, that's secretly like pulling the strings in the Illuminati, or I don't know.
There's an assassin or something.
Yeah. But the crossbow moment, I think, is a problem for not for a million reasons, but like it does it as the second big plot point, or not second plot point, but like as the third plot point. But the plot point that kind of takes us from Act 2 to Act 3 and like really sets things in motion. We don't like nothing's wrong. Nothing happens to affect like Aquafina's like you should trust her, and then Raya's like, I don't know, but I'll try. And then they try, and then Raya sees the Gemma-chan's hand on the trigger, and she thinks she's about to fire. And it's like, yeah, that's what you think is happening. Like, it's just such a bizarre, like, this leap of faith thing that Zissou is so into and kind of wants to be like, trust everybody. It's always going to work out. And I think the message of like things are bad, like there's that one line that makes it into all the trailers, which is like, everything's dangerous. I don't trust everybody. And then Zissou's like, everything's dangerous because none of you trust each other or something. Like, smart like line. But like, it's all of these circumstances where Zissou is right that Raya didn't trust somebody are always built on some sort of like weird misunderstanding, or like some sort of like situation where otherwise she would be in danger if things went the other way by a hair. Like if what's her name shows up without a gun or without a crossbow and gives the thing, and Raya's like, no, it's a trap. I know, I could tell. I never would trust her. And then she, does the same thing, and maybe Zissou doesn't die in the same way, but who knows? Maybe something happens. That's something. But with this, it's just this, like, they're just so afraid, and we kind of talk about this with Marvel, of making any of the characters wrong about anything. That that even that crossbow sequence, which it's so easy to write. Like, that is such a simple, like not like such a simple, but the idea of one character holding a gun to another character, like, it should be pretty easy to use that as a way to prove somebody's right and somebody's wrong, and they still don't. It's so weird.
Well, you don't think that Raya is proven wrong in that scenario?
No. It's like when Raya makes the move, her friend is like the Gemma-chan's one is like trembling on the trigger of the crossbow, and she's like a second from like pulling it. It seems, because I had to rewatch this because I wasn't sure, but she does kind of seem to be making a move towards it. And all Raya does is try to fling the crossbow away, which, like, fine. That's reasonable. It's only because Magneto's accidentally, the arrow went through his child and daughter moment where, like, dumb random plot bullshit makes it bad. But nothing Raya did was wrong. It's not her fault. Like, it's only her fault because of bullshit. So yeah, I mean, like, I guess she's wrong to like not completely trust her, but given the circumstances and like being a person who's not going to be completely swayed by this movie one way or the other, like, this isn't building your worldview, I don't think this movie's making quite a case against Raya's actions here. But also, like, it's a desert wasteland movie. You can't have a character show up in a desert wasteland movie and be like, you guys should all be nice to each other, and then that's it. Like, there's reasons. There's more to it than that. And honestly, someone brought this up. What's up?
You know what? Desert wasteland movie made a pitch that the only way through a crisis like this is to work together and try to fix things in a much better, more cohesive way.
Which one?
Mad Max Fury Road.
The
best movie ever made.
Never. I'll never believe it. It did not have a boss baby, so I did not remember anything that happened in it.
That's true. It's a really good
They
one.
should have put a boss baby in. One of the girls could have had a boss baby.
In a sense, one of them did have a boss baby.
Oh, that's true. So there you go. Now, you know what? Never mind. This is all coming together now. I'm kind of remembering this movie. It was good. But before we get off, like, kind of the problem with Zissou,
you were going to say someone
brought this up, that, like, the idea that, like, Raya wasn't always like this. Like, this was not her character flaw in the beginning of the movie in childhood. This is a flaw that she has developed over the course of 5 or 6 years based off of a traumatic event and, like, a series of, like living through traumatic wasteland world. And it's kind of weird that the dragon's like, what? You're wrong. No. You shouldn't have your thoughts. You should do my thing instead. It's like, well, she is living through the wasteland world. Like, you're kind of taking that character's, philosophy, which we don't see, and like whatever builds that up, and just throwing it away for no reason. It's very strange. Well, the only way it works.
Well, You finish.
I was gonna say the only way it works is if it's like the episode of 30 Rock where Tina Fey goes to her high school reunion, and it turns out she's been the bad guy the whole time, and you look back and it's like, oh my god, this is all bad because of Tina Fey. But like, if either this is a world where being trusting is bad, or a world where being trusting is good, and would have solved everything. And it's definitely not the good one, so it kind of has to be the bad one.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's true. Things can be a little gray. That's allowed.
Oh, sure. I just mean in the context of, like, the argument our characters are having. Or, like, where the movie goes. Because the movie, I would say, like, sides with Sisu and says the movie, like, trusting people is good and you should do it, and that's the
I think the more nuanced version of Sisu's argument that I think it's trying to go for but doesn't quite get there because of the problems with Sisu's writing that we're talking about here is the idea that, like, yes, we can acknowledge that trusting other people is not always going to work out. Sometimes people will betray you. Sometimes they do have ulterior motives, or things are going to come up. But the important thing is that you have to be willing to put that trust in other people, because if you aren't, then it's always going to be like this.
Right. That makes sense. I wish the movie had
actually
cleared that
idea.
Up. Yeah, like explored that idea as opposed to like the idea that it does.
I completely agree that the movie could have gone about expressing that idea a lot better.
Yeah. What else? I don't know. What did you think of the supporting characters? So you had Kid with the ship. What did you think of him?
This is my favorite. I loved him so much. I just like characters who hustle and just he's like throwing off like that charm, like, I'm here, do my thing, that's what I'm gonna do. Everyone love my shrimp. I don't know. I liked him.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I can't help but like be in the same boat with Raya a little bit, where this kid shows up. It's so weird that Raya's like, this kid's gonna poison us, and Zisu's like, no, he's not, and then he doesn't, and then Zisu was right. Like, is Raya crazy?
Well, no, I think she, like, that's the thing. Like, she has like a trauma from making a mistake that broke the world, and she just hasn't really recovered from it.
So she like walking around and everybody's like, here, have this flower, and she's like, that's a bomb, and they're all like, that Raya girl, she really doesn't like anything, she's a real stick in the mud.
We do kind of get a hint of that in the very beginning when she's traveling through the wastes on her way to find Sisu, and she sees those figures in the distance and is already like drawing her sword, like, people, I can't trust them, and then they're statues, and she's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah. But then it's like, that's just as bad, kind of. That even further reinforces the viewpoint that, like, shit's bad. It's not like people enjoying themselves and having fun. It's post-apocalyptic wasteland. I guess it's like if the movie starts with...
Again, the point is more like, you can't fix it without trusting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even though you may be in a circumstance where trusting people doesn't feel like the right thing to do, it's something that you're going to have to do.
Sure, I'll buy that. For me, it just feels like that kid comes from a different movie than the one everybody else is in, or definitely the one Raya is in. And I don't think that juxtaposition feels reasonable for me. He feels like something else. The babies are I think the character out of the band of misfits that fits the best is Wong's character. He makes complete sense. Like,
yes.
And he's also like a play on a, like a wasteland kind of post-apocalyptic character in a way that makes sense, that is interesting. And the babies kind of are, once you figure out their deal. I don't know, there's something about the kid.
Well, the problem is the kid and the babies have the same problem.
Yeah.
Like, they're the same kind of wasteland character. Like, we lost our family, and now we have to fend for ourselves. So they just did the same thing twice.
Right.
Which is like...
Yeah.
And with the babies are doing crimes, so it's like, yeah, this wasteland makes villains out of all of us. But with the kid, he's just like got a shrimp boat, a seemingly nice, well put together shrimp boat.
Right.
Like, what's stopping this kid from crushing it? He's hardworking, his boat's clean, he makes good shrimp. He should be a multimillionaire. But maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe that just doesn't come up. Kind of like Harry Potter, where it's like, buy stuff. You have money. You'll fix this with your money. And it's like, I don't even have money, but he has money.
Where he spends like all the time hanging out with poor people and like only rarely thinks about, I should give the poor people I know some money that I have like effectively infinite of.
One of the poor families I live with, they are giving me housing and shelter.
Yeah, like they can't buy books. They have to buy secondhand books. But like, I'm just like, man, that sucks for you. And they're all like, yeah, it does, Harry. I really wish we knew someone that could buy us books. And Harry's like, yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Oh, well, poor's gonna pour.
Thanks for breakfast.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so you got them, you got the Boss Baby. You have the bit with Boss Babies where Raya goes to find the person in charge of the fish port town thing, whatever. I keep calling it Lake Town because it's just like the one from the Hobbit movie. Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, it is Lake Town. You are right to call it that.
And then that guy is dead, has been turned into rock, and then it turns out the mean lady who's being nice to Zizou is actually going to kill Zizou for pieces of dragon pieces and stuff, which don't love as a way to further reinforce the goal of stuff, but whatever, sure. And
I put this in the basket of like, we need action to get us from moment to moment in this movie, and here it is.
Well, like, it would be interesting. I think oh yeah,
I was gonna say it is fine as just like, yeah, we need some action to like keep things going, but it would have been more interesting if that was integrated into the conflict, where that was a thing that Raya pointed out. I'm like, see, you can't trust people, and then Sisu's faith is shaken a little bit, but you know, then they have Tong, BD Wong's character, and then in that situation, it turns out trusting him was the right idea. And maybe if you play up that conflict a little more, where instead of just instantly deciding to trust him as soon as that becomes a thing that would help them, Raya is more resistant, but Sisu does it anyway, and then it does work out for them. And then you have this complicated thing where it's like examples of both of their things working, and they have to, you know, have the argument where they both have examples on their side about whether you should or should not trust people, and then that becomes more interesting. But they don't really do anything with it in this movie. It's just kind of a thing that happens,
right? Or sorry, DJ.
Oh, no, I was just going to say real quick that I would have really liked BD Wong in this movie. I think he would have done a fantastic job.
That's
it's
true.
a shame that we didn't get him.
Diggins
All right,
is too...
Benedict Wong.
Yeah,
Benedict
Diggins and
Wong.
Benedict
You got me on
Wong
Ocean's
have
11, I'm
nicknames for
getting
each
you
other.
on BD Wong.
At least the letters BD are in Benedict. It's not crazy if someone's like, what up, BD? And it's like, yeah, that's what he called me in high school. BD for Benedict. Or Big Daddy Wong. Who knows what everybody calls him.
I went to a high school with a lot of lazy people. Like, you can't say Benedict, now you're BD.
BD, baby.
That's your name, dude.
I mean, he'd be Benny Wong. Anyway.
Benny Wong.
Or, the alternative to that, Zizou has a viewpoint that Raya still doesn't believe, and then Zizou is proven right by, like the situation that shows up in Lake Town is so interesting because it's exactly what Raya wants. Not like wants, but it's like exactly what she thinks is going to happen. Babies come and try to steal stuff from her, and then someone's like, oh, you know, I'm nice to the dragon, and then tries to kill the dragon. But, like, you know, I can see a version of the movie where that happens in Raya's head, and then Zizou gives the guy a gift, and he gives her the rock, because he's like, oh, yeah, someone's giving me gifts. This is nice. If we're nice to each other, trust each other, things will be okay. Like, have Zizou be Paddington, and just be a force of goodness and trust that makes everybody kind of change their opinions. Like, it's just so strange that the movie keeps going in and out of its own way to prove both characters right and wrong, but with no, like, goal.
Nando, every movie can't be Paddington.
Every movie should be
I've told you
Paddington.
this a dozen times.
Every movie needs Paddington.
Happen.
He needs to be there. Why not? Invite Paddington to write this script. 9 writers, one of them's Paddington. We're off to a good start. yeah, I'm sure if they could have gotten another year, they would have got Paddington. Or even one of the Paddington family probably could have brought in his point of view. Last thing here, let's talk about the ending. So like DJ was saying, they do Guardians of the Galaxy because the purple smoke monsters are coming to get him. You know, eat everybody up.
Once Namari shoots Sisu, and Sisu seemingly dies, the water all dries up because the dragons bring water, and she was the last dragon, and the Druun don't like water, so with all the water gone, there's nothing stopping them from just attacking everybody.
Yeah, this movie's also somehow Lord of the Rings too, right? With the can't cross water,
and it's so funny because the it's all of those things, right? Isn't there a movie? I feel like there's another alien movie or like monster movie where the monsters look kind of like these monsters. I think it's like a real life movie too. Like it's not like the one with
a real life movie.
Like a real life movie, yeah, I know, right? No, like the one like the blind. What is it? Birdwatch, but not that one. Where you can't look at the monsters.
Bird Box?
Yeah, it's not Bird Box, but it's something like that where there's like shadow monsters that are going around and like you can't. I don't know. And they're like, I want to say there's a bit where someone's on the other side of like a river and it can't get them.
Are you thinking of like the movie with You Can't Talk? This God damn it, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt.
Quiet Place? No, but close.
Yes, Quiet Place.
That's not too far off. I don't know what this movie is. This is going to kill me. But
You're not
either way,
Attack the Block, are you?
No, I started that. Couldn't finish it. I want to watch it with subtitles, and I couldn't figure out
great.
I couldn't get through the accents. It's tricky. I'm not Michael Caine.
Wow,
okay?
So much anti-British racism going on here.
You Anglophobe.
Every couple of sentences, I'm like, what is this Brove they keep speaking of? Who is Brove? They keep talking to him. Because they end every sentence with Brove, and I'm like, where is he?
You mean Bruv?
What's the bin?
Yeah, that's him, Bruv, the guy. The hero of the movie, I assume. He keeps coming, they're all like, look over there, Bruv. And I'm like, where is he? I keep looking for Bruv. Anyway, this joke was bad.
Why is the bin garbage?
So, the thing, but the, but we didn't talk about. So there's a second where kind of, and especially in the beginning, it seems like Gemma Chan's mom is the villain, right? Because she's the one who initiates the attack and it's like a whole plot to get the dragon gem in the first place and breaks it.
Yeah, she's Fire Lord Ozai.
Yes, and in Avatar, I imagine Fire Lord Ozai is just bad, right? Like that's his whole deal.
Yeah. He's comically bad.
So we get one scene with her before all of this happens with the crossbow incident, where she's like, we have the dragon gem, and we have a cool moat, and our city's, we're killing it. So we shouldn't do dumb things, and, like, this is working for us. And this is the part of the movie where I'm like, well, maybe they were right about what the dragon gem, bringing prosper to your people and stuff. And then I'm like, is the dad kind of the villain then? Or is he just too naive?
The dragon gem in the sense that it is helpful in this situation, it's because it keeps the Druun away. And the Druun were gone when the dad had it.
Oh, see,
so that wasn't like a thing that they had that no one else had. Nobody had Druun.
I was under the impression that the dragon gem would also like make your crops grow better and stuff. Like you having it in your in your kingdom made your kingdom better.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what the other people believe at the start, right. But there's never any implication that that's true.
Well, I would get this. I would understand if our character, whatever her name is,
Raya,
Gemma Chan's one, like she comes from the
Namari,
yeah. She comes from Fang, which seems to be at least on the, like, it's not doing so hot in the beginning of the movie, because otherwise why would they make the play for the gem? And then they get the gem later, and they're doing better than Heart even was. So I think the movie, does it not, like, it just based on everything we see in the movie, having a dragon gem makes your city better.
I would say that we don't know that they're not doing okay at the start. They clearly want the gem because they want to be doing better, but there's no real... The only hint that they might not be doing well is Numari going like, "Oh, I haven't seen Rice in a while," and like, we don't know if we can really trust. We don't know if we can really trust that, because that might have just been her trying to manipulate Raya to show her the gem.
Maybe, but
yeah, I think there's not a lot of evidence that the gem really does anything.
Other than make the Druun not be near them.
Pre-break, it's because then, like, it would, like, be supercharged. And, like, we don't even know that Fang... Right, like, Fang could be at the same state pre-Druun than post-Druun. Like, it just seems like this has been a struggle that everyone just wants the gem, and they don't even know why they want the gem. That would have been a great thing to explore, that, like, if the gem actually didn't do anything, and it's like, yo, the shit you want, it's just, it doesn't do anything.
Nah, because but, like, I feel like the movie is almost, like... The characters make the case, like, your city is doing better than our city because of the gem. And, like, they seem to believe that when they all get in the fight over it. Like, all of them do. And I feel like, if anything, this movie kind of, in the beginning at least, seems like it's gonna make some sort of point about privilege and wealth and stuff and how you gotta share. But then, like, it doesn't do that. But it kind of, I don't know. I feel like the text of the movie... Because I also feel like the Fang mom says, like, we've been doing better since we got the gem. I feel like there's a line where she's like, you see how well we're doing? If we give up the gem, it goes right back to shit.
I do think she says that, but, like, I don't know, it could just be posturing, right?
It could be.
I don't think she says we're doing better than we were doing. I think she says we're doing better than those other people because they've all gone to shit since the Druun came back.
Interesting. I need to go see it again. But also, yeah, why doesn't Raya knows that having the dragon gem be in 5 parts, like be reunited, will fix everything, right?
I think she thinks that, yeah.
With Sisu, giving Sisu the reunited dragon gem, Sisu will be able to banish the Druun again because that's what she did in the first place.
Right. So why don't they give it to Fang? Like, give all 4 pieces and the dragon of Fang and be like, fine, you guys don't believe us? You do it.
Well, because they don't trust them.
Right, so
almost
there's
like
your
that's
movie.
The theme of the movie.
Right, so there's your gun bit where it's like, I don't want to give it to her because I don't, but they don't do that either. Ugh, this movie. It reminds me very much of Frozen 2 now that I think about it.
So did you not like this movie?
No, I did not care for it, actually. I don't know. It's just like, it had so many things that it was almost doing, and it just doesn't do any of them. So, like, when I get down to it, it's like, what did I like about it? It was nice, it was pretty. Kung Fu was pretty good. Some of the lines were funny, but, like, everything I liked about the story and, like, the plot just didn't feel complete enough to be like, that's why I liked the plot. Because it was all just a lot of nothing. Or a lot of half
You didn't
things.
even like how much the 2 ladies wanted to kiss?
Like, I did and didn't, because they did want to kiss. I would have liked, honestly, if everybody won, and then everyone was cheering, and then the big, whatever his name is, B.D. Benedict Wong's guy was like, hey, what happened to Raya and Gemma Chan? And then the babies were like, I don't know, they just left for a second. And then they both came back, like, adjusting, like, hats and stuff. It's just like, hey, everybody.
Like, Raya's shirt was on backwards.
Yeah. It's just like, everybody that wants to tell their kids that's not what happened can tell them that. But everybody else, we all see it.
I want them to do it so badly.
It's so annoying.
So badly.
What's so hard about it? What is it? I mean, I know what's so hard about it, but also, like, are they just queuing us up to give them a big... Yeah. But, like, that's the other thing. Like, this movie, I feel like, I don't think is enough of anything to really make a lot of money or sell a lot of toys or whatever. But I think if it was the first openly, LGBTQ plus Disney movie, they'd sell a lot of stuff. And I think eventually...
Yeah, all those moms would buy those toys to burn them.
Oh, my God. You're kidding me. The Halloween costumes that year would be insane. They'd make so much money. And, yeah, you're right. They would all burn them. It would be great. It would be so good for Disney. Like, I feel like eventually they got to take one of these that's kind of a stinker. Not that's bad, but isn't like Frozen good, and just go, you know what? Actually, these two are together, and they're going to say it in the line, and then because all of these movies could easily be retrofitted to be that, so we're just going to do it for one of them and see if that makes lots of money. And, like, this seems like the perfect one to do that with, except for...
no, I think you got to put it in the movie if you're going to do that, right? Like,
oh, no, I'm saying do it, put it in the movie.
You can't J.K. Rowling it.
Oh, no. I'm saying, like, a month before the movie comes out, just figure out what lines of dialogue you have to change and change them. Like, change 50 lines of dialogue where that Raya's like, I just miss her so much so I could kiss her and she's so cute and whatever, like, have them all say those things in the movie. But just figure out at a certain point, like, we need to make this movie special. How, like, there's gonna be a tipping point where the economic calculus is going to tilt towards that instead of away from it, like it always has. And I'm interested to see what that is.
Well, because at some point you would think that the social good would match that, right? Where, like you said,
No.
it's like, it would just
Social good? That doesn't sound like it puts money in my pocket, DJ.
Yeah.
It's not a calculus.
It'll be the novelty of it. It'll be the novelty and the goodwill that comes from doing that, and that will be how they justify it at the time. But
because then more people will give me money.
Exactly. And you know what?
Actually,
that's fine if it's a good thing, but they just have to start doing it. And yeah, it feels like this is the time, man.
You know, a movie I thought was going to go there, but never actually did, was Wolfwalkers. I thought Wolfwalkers was going to go there.
They're too young. If they made a Wolfwalker sequel where they're
I guess
13 or 14, I don't know how young they were supposed to be, actually. But they were in their teens, I'd see it.
Yeah, I guess.
But, like, honestly, like, can you imagine the sales of merch and the think pieces and the internet, just how excited everybody would be about Raya, the first openly, like, gay, Disney princess. Well, I guess she's a princess, right? Yeah, princess. It would be huge.
She is not technically a Disney princess.
Oh, yeah, I guess because she's not a prince.
Her father's like
something else, yeah.
She is not the official product line of Disney princesses. Does not include Raya.
Why?
How? Yeah,
I don't know. Ask the marketers at Disney.
Because Moana's included.
Yeah. Well, what do you want? I'm not the
Diggins,
marketers
you
at Disney.
go home and tell Walt Disney.
Take his head out of your foot.
Yeah, and be like, listen, sir, is
it just not updated
thought about
yet?
it.
That'd be my guess. Like, is that they just haven't updated the paperwork.
Yeah, they haven't. They've been thinking. They keep going. We forgot to do one thing. That one thing that sells all the stuff. What is it? Why aren't kids buying this Raya character?
Because, like, I don't know. That just is crazy to me that she's not a Disney princess.
I mean,
it's like every fucking parameter.
To be fair to Moana, kind of, I feel like you would still be a king. Although I guess Mulan wouldn't be a princess.
Well, her dad's a chieftain, so
is he a chieftain,
I
though?
feel like in Moana, yeah.
Is he?
He's the chief of the village or society.
Yeah.
Their society's pretty big.
I guess that's
in Moana.
true. Yeah,
like he running shit. So yeah.
Mm.
And Moana was in that very I don't know. Is it because like Moana had that wanderlust, I must go out, and that's the very typical Disney princess thing. It's I must overcome my shitty surroundings. Whereas Raya was damn, I fucked up, I gotta fix this.
I gotta make the Infinity Stones all one big stone.
Yeah, this movie's now a Marvel movie, and I just gotta fit into these parameters.
Yeah.
Sorry, Moana, I can't be a princess.
It's it's just she should be a princess, I guess. I mean, I hope people want her to be.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but yeah, you think if Disney wants to make them buku dollars, that they would want to just solidify that contract now.
There are actually only, let's see here, 12 official Disney princesses.
That's fucking bullshit. All right.
According to whom?
Let's name
According
them.
to Disney.
Me and DJ are going to guess. Diggins, you got the list, all right?
Yeah.
All right, I have the list right here.
All right, DJ, you go one and I'll do one, yep.
All right, very good. Ariel.
Yes.
Sleeping Beauty. Aurora.
Yes.
Jasmine.
Yes.
Snow White.
Yes.
Mulan.
Yes.
Belle.
Yes.
Cinderella. I didn't say Cinderella yet, right?
No, we didn't say Cinderella yet. Elsa.
Nope.
What?
Yeah, she's a queen.
She was a princess for a while. I'm sorry. Did you not see the part of the movie when they did the Snowman song? Does that not count anymore? I thought this was America. Okay. If not her, then Pocahontas. How about her?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here, Disney. Don't try to pull that bullshit.
So is Anna on that list?
Nope.
How about the one from Atlantis?
Nope.
Ugh. She is a princess.
Her name's Kida.
Tiana.
And no. Yes.
Yeah, Tiana. I knew that one.
So you guys have gotten 9 of them. There's 3 left.
3 more. All
three
right.
left?
Tangled. Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
Right. Yeah, whatever her name is.
Rapunzel. God, is fucking the girl from Brave, whose name I can't remember?
Oh, yeah. Merida.
Yes, Merida. I did not think you were going to get that.
And then I guess
Fucking
the other
Merida.
one's Moana, right? Because you said she was on the list before.
Yes.
Okay.
It
there
is
we go.
Moana.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck,
And
man?
so that's the list?
That is the official Disney princess, the brand Disney princess. That is the lineup.
So,
I
Diggins.
can't think of who I think should be on that list that isn't, except for fucking Raya.
I mean, fucking Vanellope, first of all, the best one.
Sure.
Who is a princess in the movie.
Well, it's weird because in Ralph Breaks the Internet, she has the scene with the Disney princesses.
Yeah.
And that's a whole adorable thing. So, yeah.
And Frozen's in that scene.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so. Right?
This list actually notes that Anna and Elsa are in that scene, even though they are not official Disney
Okay.
princesses.
Oh, so that's wow, that's so
That's some
interesting.
bullshit.
Okay.
I mean, I want Meg in there just because I want Hercules representation because it's my favorite, but she's not really a princess, but kind of. I would assume her and her
I mean,
get
neither's
married.
Mulan.
Yeah.
Mulan is in no way a
Mulan's-
princess.
Yeah, or Tiana. Tiana's no, she marries a prince. Never mind.
marries
But
Prince.
but Meg marries. Let's say Meg and Hercules get married. He is kind of the prince of Mount Olympus, so she would kind of
Come
be
on.
the what?
That's so loose.
But he abdicates at the end of the movie.
yeah, that's the whole
That's
point.
that's true. Well, maybe he becomes Prince of Earth then. I don't know. We should make him Prince of Earth if he's not already, because he killed Hades.
He's a prince among men.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen. Justice for Raya.
also-
Hashtag justice for
Also,
Raya.
the
Let's
stupid
get her
Atlantis one.
princess
That one's a
sized.
princess. Why are we going to pretend that movie didn't come
Yeah,
out?
but
Disney?
because it didn't make a lot of money, and that means it's dead to them.
Yeah, that's fair. What about Cusco's girlfriend from the TV cartoon where they go to school together? That one.
Oh my god.
Her. I want her in there. Or, you know what? No, I want Yzma in there. Let's pretend Yzma's a princess and just have her hang out with the other 10-year-old, 15-year-old princesses. Just, in the corner, miserable, because they're not.
That'd be dope
Or
as
she
fuck.
could be a cat, because she's a cat at the end of one of them. Or at the end of the movie. I don't know.
At the
if
end
that's
of
been-
the first one, yeah.
I don't know if that's since been retconned or whatever. What about,
It
you know who else?
depends what follow-up you're talking about.
Oh, my God. You know who else I want? One of the fucking ones from the Kingdom Hearts. Some random Kingdom Hearts character.
Oh, Kyrie? Yeah, make Kyrie one.
Yeah. Oh,
God.
It's Kingdom Hearts this? What's the
it-
bad guys in Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, they're heartless.
Heartless?
Not really.
No.
Well,
I can't
hold
remember what
on.
the
Who
thing
are
I'm
the
thinking
bad
of is.
guys in Kingdom Hearts, really?
Oh, that's
Is
a
it
good
the
point.
Heartless, or is it the Organization 13? Is it just Xehanort and his crew?
Listen, I've gotten to a point where Kingdom Hearts where I was in on it. I mean, it happened over the course of this podcast where I was like, yeah, and then I'm like, nah, fuck this series, it sucks. I turned so quickly on it. So you know who's evil? The people who fucking made it.
Yeah, that guy.
Wow.
What's his name?
Tetsuya
Mr.
Nomura
Yeah,
also
Mr.
made
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy VII
VII,
Remake,
yeah.
so he can't be bad.
Let's go integrate.
Which is one of the PlayStation 4 free games. I have it now. I downloaded it yesterday.
Oh, good. Let us know what you think of it, and then
Yeah,
you'll
nice.
be. I'll get intergrade right into my veins.
It's downloading. It's
I
like
want
80
integrate
gigabytes
immediately.
or something insane like that. But either way, yeah, I will play it eventually.
I need to play as
I would,
Sonnen.
I would love to play Intergrade, but I don't have a PS5.
Do you need a PS5 for integrade?
Yeah, Intergrade, I believe, is a PS5 exclusive.
Talk about the haves and the have-nots. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right.
You
Why don't you
pores.
share your PS5 Dragon Gem with me, DJ?
Yeah.
'Cause
Diggins.
I don't trust you,
Yeah,
obviously.
Diggins was going to drop it on the floor. He told me earlier. He hates your PS5
Not a
Dragon
fucking
Gem.
moron.
Also, other princesses I want, now that we're thinking about this, the cow from the movie where the cows stand up. That one. Remember that movie?
Oh, God.
It was they made the cow movie. They made Barnyard,
With
but it wasn't
Roseanne?
that. It was another one. What's it called?
I actually don't know. I thought you were talking about Barnyard. so I don't
No,
know
they
what
both
this
came
is.
out around the same
You're
time,
talking about
too.
Home on the Range?
Yes, that one. One of them's probably a princess.
Yeah, with Roseanne.
Oh, Roseanne is in it. Oh, well, now. That one, I guess.
Wow.
Also,
She
how about-
voices the main cow in Home on the Range.
Also, if Brave gets to be one, the Bugs Life one is definitely a princess.
Well, it's all humans. We need the animal division because then Nala would be in it. So
I mean, to be fair, since when are French people humans? Am I right? Let's get rid of Belle on that one.
Hey, get fucking wrecked.
Oh, we're so
Belle
mean this
and
episode.
Cinderella.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And
And
I feel like
Is Cinderella's French?
is Sleeping Beauty French?
Aurora. I think she's English. Maleficent.
Yes, I believe that is English.
Cinderella. Are we sure that's French and not Italian? That sounds like an Italian name.
Cinderella is canonically in France.
The mouse is Jacques.
Ah, it's true.
That's like one of the dead giveaways.
Oh, come on, let me get a nice mozzarella. It's Cinderella. It sounds so right.
I tell you a real chip. Hunchback of Notre Dame. No love for Esmeralda.
I mean, she is nowhere
She
near
was a
being
Disney princess until 2004.
What, they
also
revoked
Sleeping
her
Beauty
princess-ship?
Yeah, they did. Also, Sleeping Beauty is in France.
Well,
there's so many French Disney movies.
Yeah, how much did France pay you, Diggins, to lie to your great grandfather Walt Disney about where France is and isn't? I won't have this. Also,
just because it seems so English in Sleeping Beauty. But,
I've got a list of Disney movies. Here's some that we have forgotten. I want Patty Mayonnaise to be a Disney princess from Doug's first movie. Tarzan's girlfriend, she could be a princess, Jane.
Jane, I guess.
He's like
Princess of the Jungle. It's more like Queen.
Well,
That's
but
like the weird part.
Is he? Yeah, no, I guess that's true. She'd be Queen. Inspector Gadget, Penny could be a princess. I had another one. Where was it? Lilo. She should be a princess. Lilo and Stitch is great. It's like the best movie they've made in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
true. That's actually a weird one that she's not a princess, because that one like totally tracks.
She's too young and she's poor.
Wait,
she doesn't
in
count.
what way does that totally track that Lilo is a princess? Hold on, explain yourself, counselor.
No, it doesn't. She's just she just has her sister, right? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I mean, her sister's dating that guy who is a fire spinner, but that doesn't seem like he's a secret prince.
Actually, in no way tracks. And
there have been many spin-off Disney Lilo and Stitch things. There's like movies and games, and there was a whole show.
Yeah,
so
at no point does she become princess to an empire.
We might have forgotten it. How about Nightmare Before Christmas? Empire, Can she be the princess? She would be the queen, I guess.
Oh, Sally? Sure.
Well, he's the Pumpkin King, so it doesn't count.
He's the Pumpkin King, so she would be the Pumpkin Queen.
Yeah, all right. I think we got all of them. Besides G-Force. Did anybody watch G-Force? Movie with Gerbils or Zach Galifianakis?
What about Air Bud? What about there's Air Bud's huge.
Oh yeah, and they went to space too, so like that would knock a bunch of things off the list. First alien, like extraterrestrial princess. Yeah.
What about Eva from WALL-E?
What about Lola Bunny? I know she's not from these movies, but still we have to complain about Lola Bunny.
We couldn't go through this podcast without describing the utter outrage it is that Warner Brothers has reduced the size of the gigantic Gazumbas on Lola Bunny.
I'm pretty mad about the arm sleeve. I think that arm sleeve is way out of proportion.
Arm sleeve?
I'm pretty pissed off by that. Yeah, she's wearing like an arm sleeve that I don't think is like realistic proportions. Yeah, look at the photo. That arm sleeve is not realistic. Also, she didn't wear an arm sleeve in the original. Why is she wearing one now? Pretty messed up.
Everyone knows that nobody changes their clothes in 20 years or however long it's been.
Well, cartoons don't actually, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
The Simpsons and Family Guy, they're all just Rick and Morty. It's all the same clothes.
I mean, if Tasmanian Devil isn't wearing a sweatband, I'll lose my mind. I will walk out of that theater.
Can you believe that we have been deprived?
Yeah.
Can you believe that we've been deprived of a scene where LeBron James teaches Pepe Le Pew about consent?
I'm so mad. I want to drag him kicking and screaming into the 21st century. I love Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, I hate
except for all the weird sexual assault.
Except for all the rape.
But I love the idea of like a handsome guy who stinks. That's so funny. Like, if he didn't want to kiss all the girls all the time, if the girls wanted to kiss him, that'd be so funny.
And is in love with the cat.
Mando.
That's a fun conceit.
Yeah.
Mando, why don't you just look in the mirror?
Oh, God.
Get fucked, Nando.
I can't smell the mirror. That other person on the other side of the mirror who isn't me, he doesn't smell like I do. I smell great. In this version of the podcast, I'm like a baby, I guess, who doesn't understand what mirrors are.
Or a dog.
Or a dog, yeah.
Or just an idiot.
Yeah,
like we never considered that you're super dumb.
Yeah, there are probably people that just don't know what a mirror is. I mean, to be fair to them, mirrors are really weird.
Well, like, if you never saw one, and also never saw glass, I guess, would you be like, what the fuck is
this? My God, it's another dimension. And in some cases, you'd be right if it's the Flash. The mirror dimension.
You know how you really fuck them up? You show them a mirror, and then you show them like the weird like Peloton workout mirror, and then they're like,
"Oh my god!" Like that awful SNL sketch from the other way.
Yeah, that was a bad SNL sketch, but exactly that.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Listen, guys. I'm sure we can all agree. Raya the Last Dragon was okay.
I was going to say, so like 20 minutes into talking about other bullshit, we're done talking about Raya, right?
Yeah, we're done with Raya.
Here, allow me. If you have not seen Raya the Last Dragon, well, I'll be honest, I can't believe you made it this far.
Yeah.
But if you're like on the fence, like I think it's worth your $30. I want to tell you how to spend your money, depending on what your situation is. But if it's a thing that you think you should spend money on because it's important to have the representation in the movie and to vote with your wallet and for Disney to make more of these kinds of movies, then go for it. And if not, that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, there's better things you can vote with your wallet on in terms of, like, actual representation of stuff. And also, this movie will be free in, like, 3 months, right? Like the other one was. So just wait. Yeah. Give it a couple weeks, and you'll probably be fine. I mean, listen, the Snyder Cut is going to take all the oxygen out of the room. We'll all forget this movie existed until it comes back into our lives in June. So
yeah, it really did pick the perfect time to come out.
Yeah. I mean... God, I mean, I'm sure they were all just like me, convinced there would be no Snyder Cut, and they were just like, "Well, yeah. I mean, that's what they keep saying." But why would we get rid of this prime release schedule?
I think this will be our last chance, our last podcast that is released before the Snyder Cut comes out. So I do want to warn,
DJ is right.
The last one that'll be released, not recorded.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, sorry.
So I just want to let you all know the March 18th, the day the Snyder Cut comes out.
Yes.
If you have any care at all for your mental health, for your ability to exist in the world as a being with thoughts and consciousness that is not plagued by just constant rancid discourse, for the love of God, do not go on the internet that day. And if you must go on the internet, do not go on Twitter.
Yeah. Just stay away.
It's gonna be like Code Kermit levels of discourse on Twitter that day.
Oh my God. Just arms in the air. Yeah. I'm excited personally because it's just like my brain isn't ready for it. But also because I saw that one bit, and if it's all like that, this is gonna be a nightmare.
I can't watch this in one sitting, or while not like at least doing a Sudoku puzzle.
I mean, I do think it will genuinely bore everybody. So,
listen, we've all heard what TJ has to say, and we can all accept that he is a coward. He's a coward who's weak, and that's fine.
I mean,
I'll accept that criticism.
And to be fair to DJ, he's probably not going to watch it either. Like most of these movies, he's just going to talk about it as if he's seen it, and kind of put together what me and you were saying about it, and then build from that. So,
I wonder if I could do that.
I think you could. Well, I don't know. This movie's going to be
pretty how
did
the Speed Racer pod go?
Oh my God, that was awful.
It was the best.
All right, wait. So let me see. So you guys see, the reason that Cyborg had to quit the football team is because he had a bad cramp in his leg.
That was part of what happened when his leg exploded. Probably right about that same time, actually. Cramped up a lot, and then it exploded. Oh man. This is going to be something. All right, Ryan Last Dragon, yeah, fine. If they made a sequel, you know what? It'd probably also be fine.
I think they should. Because I think this world might be interesting enough where like maybe they could do something with it, but I don't know.
I don't know what it would be. It'd have to be another nation coming in and invading or something.
Exactly, yeah.
But then they'd have to cast people to voice Raya's siblings, not Raya's siblings, Sisu's siblings, and they just really didn't want to do that in this movie.
Yeah.
So badly did they not want to. But that, like, actually, we should mention, right? The movie ends with, like, there are all dragons now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's
the dragons come back.
Yeah, from being unstoned. And, like, the implications of that could be crazy. Like, nations could fight over dragons. Like, I know Kumandra's back or whatever, but, there could be some interesting implications.
What if one of them was the alpha dragon? And it could...
I mean, we could...
control the other ones or
We
whatever.
could do
happens.
a whole thing of like a China analog nation invading, mirroring the real life invasion of Vietnam by China in like I don't know exactly when it happened, but it was a long time ago, like over like 1,000 years ago.
That would be wild. I would. Disney just like has been saving up all its chips to really go after China in a movie, and that's the one.
Oh, they would never. They would never.
I mean, it'd be funny to see how it was Raya's fault all along. Honestly, we'd learn both sides of the story.
Raya's like, democracy is important. We need free nations to stand as free nations. And then, like, Sisu's like, no, Raya, stop it, and just eats her.
Yeah, we get to the end.
Stop with this mindless propaganda.
The ending of the movie is Raya bowing to the Chinese emperor, who looks suspiciously like Xi Jinping, and explaining how the whole conflict was actually their fault and that they were right to invade.
Yeah. Well, what it should be is like an extra scene that they film where just Raya and Zizou are talking, and like that film, but like record, and this just goes out in China, and they go like, and this is like, before the big battle starts, I really hope that, super guy John whatever from the China analog country betrays us. That would be pretty cool. We deserve it, don't we? And then like, yeah, we do, Raya. All right, let's go do the fight. And then that recontextualizes it for all of the audiences. Everybody gets what they want. And that's what we're getting anyway, right? Everybody just gets, like, their own versions of movies that appeal directly to them. So, yeah.
They're going to release the cut of Kong versus Godzilla where Kong wins in America and where Godzilla wins in Japan, just like the original.
That would be great. They should do that.
I would love that.
That'd be so funny. And just like we have our Berenstein Bears moment, but like we're both wrong. Or right. We're both right, I guess. Anyway, Ryan Last Dragon, great movie. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say they did do the multiple endings thing with Clue when that came out in theaters.
And that was awesome.
That's not relevant. Ryan the Last Dragon is not like Clue, really.
Not yet. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Yeah. That's all I got.
So, all right.
Yeah, we got the movie. All right, you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah.
Let's recommend a thing. DJ, what do you got to recommend to the fine people?
All right, so I would like to recommend a show on Netflix I picked up. It's called Pacific Rim: The Black. Are you guys familiar with this? Have you heard of this at all?
I know what Pacific Rim is, and I know what black is. I'm not sure how they are the same. So explain to me, what is the black?
Well, I actually don't want to. It's actually kind of stupid because, like, it refers to an event that happens in the show that I don't want to say what it is in case people want to watch the show.
Okay.
If that, like, is enough of a, I don't know, warning, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
like, the black is a thing that happens in the show. I don't want to say what it is because it's not, like, a premise to set up the show. It's, like, a thing that happens in the show that, like, I don't know if it's, like, spoilery. But yeah, I just don't want to say it. So is that okay?
I mean, people can make up their own minds about it. I think you're a coward. No, I think it's fine. I think calling it the black is a weird, like, thing for them to do if they're not going to say what that is.
They had to give some kind of, like, Pacific. So I was grabbed at Pacific Rim, right? And I'm like, it's called the black. Who cares? And then when it happens in the show, you're like, oh, that's why they did that. But then it's like, you could have called this something else.
Yeah.
Like, you could have called this, like, Pacific Rim Danger.
Yeah.
Like, like literally could have been
Pacific Rim Downfall. Pacific Rim Retaliation. Whatever.
Yeah.
So it's called that, I'm assuming, because this is the depiction of the Black Lives Matter protests in the Pacific Rim universe.
Yeah. I mean,
so you're close, but actually it's a crossover event with Pacific Rim and Dragon Ball Z where Goku Black shows up to side with the kaiju.
That would actually
because,
be
like, the kaiju are on the ropes, so, like, now the Jaegers have to fight the kaiju and Goku Black.
Wait, so when does Zamasu show up?
That's, like, way too spoilery, Diggins. I, like, can't say what that is. Like,
so this show is, it's animated, correct?
Yeah, it's animated. It's the 3D-ish animation that I know, like, some studios are kind of futzing with. It's like, it's almost quite there. Unfortunately, like, some of, like, the mouth movements are, like, still kind of off. So, like, they say words and it's like, wow, the mouth movements aren't even close. But, like, it doesn't happen that often. But when it happens, you certainly notice it.
Wait, why doesn't why don't the mouth work? Like, what's wrong with the mouths? Did they just not translate it?
It's no, because it was made in English. It wasn't like from a Japanese source, right? I just think it's because, I don't know, animating is hard.
I mean, so, I feel like that is true. This has not been a problem in animation as far as I've seen up until now. That is something we didn't say about Raya and the Last Dragon. All the mouths matched most of what the characters were saying.
So,
how would you say it rates on a scale from Star Wars Rebels to Ruby?
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Ruby, but I've heard.
Which one's the good one?
But I assume Rebels comparatively, but still not great.
Yeah.
Actually, Rebels is like really good, but no, you know, it's because it's like kind of that like 3D-ish animation, like 2D 3D blend. And it's some of the movements are very drastic, and when there's like a drastic movement with dialogue, it like the mouth just gets like slightly off.
Oh.
Like when they're static, it's fine, but it's when there's more dynamic movements, it's like you guys still haven't like nailed this yet.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I know. That aside, and I'm giving like a really good pitch for this recommendation. So like for me, I'm a huge mecha anime guy. I fucking like love Gundam. I love Pacific Rim also in general. Like I'm like one of the 3 people who liked the second movie, even though I know it's like pretty bad, but I liked it. So I was like, Pacific Rim anime, I'm fucking in, and it's good. It's like it's a interesting premise. It's almost like it's like an alternative like world, because like the kaiju are still kind of a problem. And yeah, right. And rings are just kind of like sprouting up everywhere. But it's like, fine, don't think about it. Shut up. And it follows these 2 kids whose their parents were Jaeger pilots. They kind of have to go off for various reasons, and they're supposed to come back for the kids, but they don't after 5 years. So the kids find a Jaeger, and like they kind of go off on their own to try and find their parents / like rescue people along the way. And there's like a couple MacGuffins thrown in there. It's only 7 30-minute episodes, so it's like a really short ride. A WandaVision-esque ride, even like shorter. But it's good. I think it's worth it. Like it basically adds up to like a Snyder cut, basically. So like there's worse ways to spend 4 hours. But like if you do like mecha animes, if you are a fan of Pacific Rim, I think the show mostly works. I would like to. I don't know if they're like signing out for more seasons. I don't know if they got like a super positive reception. Like I don't know if this was like Netflix has its like stupid top 10, which I don't know how it works, or if it showed up on like my Netflix highly rated because of the dumbass algorithms. And I'm sure like everything I've put into my Netflix like would just point me straight to Pacific Rim: The Black. But I still think it's like worth a shot. If you want to give it a chance, and like you'll know, like 2 episodes in and you're not in, it's fine. It's probably not for you, and it's totally fine. You pretty much get the sense for everything that's going on by episode 2. So,
to answer your question, DJ, it's Netflix, so they'll make 2 seasons and then cancel it. That is how many we will get.
I thought it was 3. I thought 3 was the magic number.
I hear 2. I mean, it could be different, like studio to studio, but I have heard that 2 is at least how one of them does it. But who knows if that will change. It's all great.
But yeah, I've enjoyed it, and you know, I was looking for just like more like shorter form, just like TV series, to just kind of try. So this one kind of landed on Pacific Rim: The Black. So yeah,
cool.
It's also like a different kind of animation too, so it's like, you know, it's interesting to see that for an episode or 2 if you want to see what I'm talking about with like the 2D like 3D blend. Like it's not like full like what I would call like 3D. Like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, or Rebels. This is more like, it's kind of like it's like 2D hand drawn, but like popped out a little bit. So yeah, it's interesting.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so that's what I got. Pacific Rim: The Black. Check it out.
Diggins, what about you?
Well, I will be breaking the cardinal rule of Rex by recommending another podcast.
And, like, this is, like, twice in 3 weeks, so I feel like we have to start having you pay for it or something like that, you know.
What was the other... What other podcast? Oh, right, I did Bizarre Podcast, Dogs Don't Die.
Yeah.
Or Dogs Must Die, I'm sorry. I got it completely backwards.
All Dogs Go to Die. That's what the movie is called, right?
Yeah. But Yes, this one is much less overlap with our demographic, or our niche, let's say. It's called Your Most Obedient and Humble Servant. It's only
Hamilton
just
thing.
No, it is not related to Hamilton. It's related to the thing that Hamilton was referencing with that name, with that song name.
The president or something?
Because this, it was a very standard sign-off in letters around that time period.
Oh, sure, right, because that's why it's yours, right? That's supposed to be what that's a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like instead of like sincerely, which is what you would normally use these days, it was very common to write your most obedient and humble servant and then sign your name.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that. I think I heard that on the Gabfest. One of the guys was talking about it. Anyway, go on, sorry.
It's fine. This is a podcast that just started last June. So, and it's bi-weekly, so it doesn't have too many episodes yet. Not hard to catch up. And the whole premise is that it is hosted by a historian who has worked at several, or at least a couple different historical houses in America. Like, I believe she most recently worked at Monticello. And she is a documentary historian, which does not mean she works on documentaries. It means that she works with primary source documents, letters, writings, wills, contracts, any historically significant documents.
Okay.
And so this podcast is about her in the large collection of letters that she has looked through and knows about, or gets recommended by other people. She picks out ones that were written mostly by, usually to, women throughout 18th and early 19th century history, because they don't usually get a lot of attention. They don't usually get cited or used in, big historical works that much. So it's kind of an exploration of the culture of that time period through the lens of all these different women who are writing letters to other women. So it's an interesting perspective, I think, because you end up talking about a lot of different things about daily life back then that you wouldn't normally, because often they're writing about disease or like the family diseases and family history stuff that doesn't often get brought up. But also, it's interesting because there's a lot of ways in which the things they're talking about in these letters are kind of relatable, where they're like, a lot of the letters are someone talking shit about somebody else, or like being really sarcastic or witty, or like there's one letter where somebody... She's like writing obliquely about this person she knows who totally cheated on her husband because she got pregnant while he was away. And like her face-saving explanation was basically that it turns out that sometimes babies can just be born in 5 months. It's crazy, but they're totally healthy, guys.
That's
and
funny.
so she's writing like, yeah, there's this medical marvel. Apparently babies can be born in 5 months. Don't you think that's wild? And, reading between the lines, she obviously knows it's bullshit.
That's great.
But it's really interesting. And so they like read out the letter and then they just talk about it. It's fairly informal. They do a lot of like laughing and talking about the kind of amusing similarities to modern behavior. But they also do some serious digging into like the historical connotations of certain things and talking about the structures of those societies. And I think it's pretty neat. So if that sounded at all interesting to you, it's called Your Most Obedient and Humble Servant. It can be found on basically any podcatcher, your Apple Podcasts, your Spotifys, your Stitchers, whatever you want. So yeah, that is my recommendation for this week.
Cool. I'm gonna I got two things. One's like comic stuff, but that's really kind of a backup for a game that I have a feeling may have already been recommended. So I'm not gonna stake all my recommendation credentials on that. But I've played this week I played 2 games.
You played some Hades?
Yeah, right. I think it's called Gloomhaven. I played a game. I played 2 games. So I'm trying to figure out what the first one's called. One's a sequel to the other one, but I can't remember what the names of them are. Like, the names are so similar that I've used them interchangeably. Okay, so I played 2 games. One, I think, was on PlayStation Plus, whatever, at some point, and the other one I just bought, called Grow Home and Grow Up. So, are we familiar with these, fellas?
It sounds familiar.
So you're a little boxy robot that has to climb plants. That's the whole game.
Okay.
Yes!
It's great.
I have heard of this.
It's fucking awesome. Grow Home is the first one, came out in 2016. It's like I said, just like you're exploring and like climbing, and you have some things you're trying to get along the way, like you're trying to find gems and whatever, and there's some animals you got to scan. And then that is like one game, and it's pretty contained. It's fun. You can beat it in like an afternoon. Then there's the other one, Grow Up, which really treats that first game as like 1 out of 20 levels. And it's so much like the difference between Grow Home and Grow Up in terms of scale is insane. Not to say that means like Grow Up isn't as good or anything. It's just as good, and like there's lots of new mechanics too that make the whole game really fun. But just a really nice leisurely game to play, and not like kill time like playing Bejeweled, but like just chill out, and especially. Not like that you can't go outside and explore, but it does. It has a nice energy that, like, say going for a walk would have, which, like, again, you can still do, and now it's warm, so you have no excuse. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I played both those on PlayStation 4. I'm sure they're on all the other platforms as well. So I guess I still have my backup one, but I'll wreck them. I've started reading 2 series at the same time because they happen at the same time. So back in the early 2000s, I can't remember. I don't know when these books came out. No, like early 2010s, actually. I don't even know. In the X-Men comics, because those are all the comics I read, there was like a schism where Wolverine started the Jean Grey School and tried to do that, and then Cyclops started what he called the Extinction Squad, which was just like the mutant powerhouses that all got together and basically tried to become the new Avengers, and in an effort to like make more mutant goodwill. Kieran Gillen writes Uncanny X-Men, which is this Cyclops, Colossus, Emma Frost, Magneto, Storm team, and that is a more like, Kieran Gillen writes very mythological stuff. It's still very human and fun. In the first book, the first volume, is just all Mr. Sinister, which is great because he's one of my favorites, and it's the best story about him I could think of. But just I like this cast makeup a lot, and tonally it feels very different from Wolverine and the X-Men. I think it's what it's called, which is by Jason Aaron, who wrote a lot of the good recent Thor stuff, and it is very silly and exciting and kind of frantic. It's got that team is like Wolverine and Shadowcat and Iceman and Beast, and they have a bunch of the newer mutants like Quentin Quire and Glob Herman and kind of the kind of scrubby ones. And it's great. I really like them both, and it's fun because I'm reading them one at a time, kind of, and they're both happening at the same time. So, like, it's not like they're referencing each other in terms of, like, guys will go back and forth between books, but just every so often, like, Cyclops will be like, we gotta do this so that Wolverine can have that stupid school. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I know that's going on at that school. It's pretty funny. So I'm really enjoying those. There's lots of other good books that are going on that I'm reading that I'll probably update you guys on later. Although one that I just finally get a hand on is Children of the Atom, which is another X-Men thing that had been on the docket forever and finally came out, so that'll be fun. And then another book that I'm going to start this week, it's called Lady Killer. From what I understand, I just know it by the artist who was the artist who did the what's it called, Wonder Woman Future, where she's Brazilian, book that I really liked. So it's Joelle Jones. And the book is, from what I understand, about a 50s housewife who's also a spy. It looks very fun, so I'm excited. Probably going to read that tonight. I will update you guys on that. But besides that, that is all I've been up to. Besides, like, WandaVision, obviously, and this. What are we doing next week, fellas?
So, next week we do Kong Skull Island, right?
I guess we could do that, or we could do DCEU, like, run-up. But either one at this point is fine with me. Like, I don't, Well, you guys have a preference?
What would DCEU run-up be?
I don't know. We complain about it for a while. We pretty much did that today. Let's do Kong Skull Island. We'll set really low expectations for the Snyder Cut, I guess. But yeah, Kong Skull Island makes sense. Because, yeah, the Snyder Cut comes out, I think, on Thursday. Although I'm not sure if that's, like, Thursday at 11:59 or, like, Thursday at noon. But it will be before or after we record the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. We typically record Wednesdays, so they're just getting us. Getting us.
Unless we alter our recording schedule and put it out immediately.
We won't. It's going to be way too long.
Thursdays.
Yeah, also, we could just watch Tom and Jerry right now and do that one instead. We could do that instead of the Snyder Cut.
Wow.
What if we do that? What if we pretend? Here's the gag. We'll do this in 2 weeks, so everybody, erase it from your heads. We'll talk about it as if we watched the Snyder Cut and turned it on and just watched Tom and Jerry, and we're like, I think it was actually pretty good. I am surprised that they replaced all the characters with cats and mice and Abigail Breslin or whatever. I don't know who the other one.
I think that'd be a good bit.
Not Abigail Breslin. Who's the other one? I don't know. Hit Girl, whatever her name is. It's a good bit. We'll do it next week or in 2 weeks. But yeah, Kong Skull Island sounds good. Yeah. Anybody got anything to plug?
Yes. Same deal. Roses and Rejections. We have a Twitter account now.
Oh my God! They let you guys have a Twitter account.
I know.
Jack,
the world's gone mad.
Diggins, tell your great grandfather Jack Dorsey to take their Twitter account away, please. Roll his head out of the fridge like you do.
How old do you think Jack Dorsey is, or how young do you think I am?
He's pretty out of touch. He seems really old, right? That's the only thing that would explain how he didn't think that Trump made a difference on his platform. That's all I can understand. Otherwise, there'd be an edit button, right? Because Twitter it desperately needs one of those. So I just assume he's a geriatric man who can't bring himself to touch the button that would give Twitter editing power. Anyway.
Yeah, have you seen that long beard? Only an old man could have such a long beard.
Oh, God. Is he, like, doing that thing where he, like, lives in the desert and doesn't shave and stuff?
Oh, I don't know if it's...
Goes on, like, little fishing quests and... Not there's anything wrong with fishing quests, but it's like... There was an episode of Black Mirror where, what's his name? Topher Grace was, like, the fake Twitter CEO. And he, like, did that. Anyway, yeah, so...
So, yeah, check us out at Roses Rejections. On Twitter. All we do is post our episodes and retweet some funny Bachelor memes we find. So you can find us there. Also, the show sucks and I hate it, but that's fine. Yeah. Also, not a plug, but March Madness?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So when's Selection Sunday?
It's okay, so it's this upcoming Sunday, depending on when you hear this. It's March 14th. That's Selection Sunday.
And what happens when all the teams get COVID and the schedule gets screwy?
I don't know. They're young. They just fight through it.
That's true, yeah.
Right. That's what we do with them. We just fight through it. Do we not?
I believe they had to double their backup roster in case of player death this year, so they should be fine.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. They should do that every year. You never know who's going to get hit by a bus. But yeah, we'll do it. We should definitely do it.
Okay, I'll post on all the relevant social media. If you were part of it last year, or 2 years ago, if you just hit rejoin in ESPN Tournament Challenge, you're good to go. But if you haven't joined before, look at our Twitter account. I'll post the link and stuff to join. And you get 2 chances to make a bracket. It's totally free. And if you win, you get to pick a movie that we'll never do.
We always do them eventually.
We owe Alex a movie.
I was going to say, we've done all but one of them so far.
Didn't he not pick one, or has he picked it yet? He picked a bad one, but then we made him change it. But I thought he had a new one.
I don't know if he ever got a new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we gotta ask him. To officially,
Yeah.
because we bullied him into changing his choice.
We is strong here.
Yeah, I'll take full credit for that. I didn't bully him, but I was like, you should probably change it. That episode won't be any good. But anyway, yeah.
The fun thing about that is DJ told me, like, hey, can you tell Alex that he should change it, that you don't want to do it? Because, like, I don't want to do it, but I don't want to be mean to him. And then we were hanging out with Alex that night, and the second DJ logged on, he was like, Alex, I don't want to do the movie. So I was like, I guess I'm not saying it. Okay.
Yeah. A little behind
abdicated you of that responsibility, Diggins.
I said yes. I said I would do it. So you just decided that you didn't want me to.
Yeah, because I felt weird. So I was just like, I'll just do it.
Anyway, so where he's going to give us one, and I can't wait to hear what it is.
Right, and then we will do that. And then if you win the March Madness bracket, then YouTube will get... Oh, Alex wins, so he just gets two. He just gets to pick two
Yeah,
movies.
Then he gets to pick the one he already picked again, and this time we have to do it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, so we'll find out.
If you use two picks on something, we can't say no.
Yeah. By that point, we should have learned, like, the gravity of the situation and, like, been better at March Madnessing. Anyway.
You can find my newsletter at alittleperspective.substack.com. Probably going to release a WandaVision thing soon. I meant to have it done sooner, but I'm a trash man. So
it's okay. By the time this podcast is out, I'm sure it's been released.
I probably also released a thing I wrote about I Care a Lot, which is done, so that is almost certainly going to be released. And Oscar nominations are coming, so probably going to be watching a bunch of new movies soon. Probably might have something to say about those. Who can say?
Yeah.
Good stuff. I can't wait for... I don't know, I feel like I've seen a lot of the movies. I haven't seen Minari. That's the one that's kind of...
I gotta watch Minari.
I've been chasing it, but yeah, I feel like I've seen most of the rest of them. Yeah, I gotta probably also make a WandaVision something, kind of recap-y video, but who knows if I will and when. Something I'm kind of still mulling over. Besides that, I got a video about X-Men First Class that will probably be up before this podcast goes up. And then after that, who knows? Snyder Cut stuff, probably. Hard to say. But it's going to be
That'll
hilarious.
be the content. That'll be the content on your channel for the rest of 2021. It's just Snyder Cut stuff.
Honestly, like the YouTube will be just as bad as Twitter. Like there will be so many YouTube opinions and so many YouTube comment sections burned to the ground by Snyder Cut discourse. It's going to be insane. I can't wait.
Right, but the lead time on making a video means that you don't have to avoid it on March 18th, the way you will have to avoid Twitter.
I mean, I would imagine at this point, YouTubers should probably just make 15 videos and then just release the one that you decide on, having already made one, and just go like, all right, which thoughts do I have? The ones where I think it's good but flawed? Okay, I'll release that video I already made so they can be first. Because I feel like that's... Some stuff comes out really, really fast.
Hey,
like, how'd they get there?
Don't give away all your secret sauce, Nando.
Yeah. It's pretty good. But yeah, so we'll see about WandaVision and Justice League. But definitely, definitely something about X-Men First Class. And then, Kong Skull Island next week. That's going to be great. I can't wait. I think that one's on HBO Max, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
And it's almost certainly King Kong, although it might be Tom and Jerry. We'll find out when you turn it on which movie you get. All the movies got up and then switched one chair directly to the left as a prank on us. So it's all up in the air. But until next week, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.